Welcome, Family Heads, to the Season 4 premiere of The Family Album. I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
And I'm Matt Glass.
For those of you just joining us, this is a show where Matt and I bring each other an album that we feel is worth a discussion. Sometimes with a guest, sometimes without, and even sometimes with our good friend Tom.
But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
That's right, Matt, because today we're celebrating our 60th episode of the podcast.
AJ and I have been so eager to start this new season with a bang. So, as a little treat for you all, we wanted to bring on two guests that have totally been in more than one episode.
They're fan favorites from all the way back in Season 1. You know and love them. This iconic pair of guests from all the way back from The Death of a Bachelor. Congratulations episode.
Their show is a familiar name in households all across the U.S. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Trey Devies and Chuck Squirtlet.
What's up, fuckers? We are so back.
Gentlemen, it is an honor and a privilege to have you here.
Believe me when I say, the pleasure is all yours.
Oh, Chuck, you vulgar lush.
Guys, ever since your debut in Season 1, our audience has been begging for an update on where you guys have been and what you guys have been up to.
Well, after 4 years of simultaneously kicking nuts and fucking butts, we decided it's time to reevaluate our lives and start a new era of kick nuts for all ages to enjoy. As you know, unlike your podcast, our projected demographic is women, post-teens, and former governors. So this time, we want to finally make a podcast for the boys, because that's exactly what we need right now. So what better way to draw in all the alpha males with a venture nobody has ever tried before? Cryptocurrency!
Wow, it's what everyone's always wanted.
What a reasonable and completely original idea.
That's right. For more info about nut coins, patent pending, visit our website at www.nutsforbutts.edu.
Since Kick Nuts and the Family Album will now be sharing the same bunker, we can finally bring more of that Instagram content you've been dying for, Family Heads.
We'll be starting off with our new segment, Tom Eats Nuts. Spoiler alert, our first episode is the macadamia.
Stay tuned, guys. It's going to be one hell of a season. Just you wait.
Well, now that our intros and announcements are out of the way, let's get the audience up to speed about some recent developments, guys.
Yeah, Trey, I think it's really admirable that you're returning to entertainment in light of your recent divorce with your ex-wife, Tortilla. It makes me really happy that...
Wait. Whoa. You told us backstage we weren't going to talk about this, bro chacho. Yeah, man. Have you no shame?
Listen, sorry guys. Matt and I were not aware this topic was off the table for the interview. That's our bad.
What Torty and I had is none of your business, you butt munch.
Yo, Trey, seriously, it was just an honest mistake on my part. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Just relax.
You guys are stupid. I bet you listen to Limp Bizkit, you
Whoa! Chuck, you cannot say that.
Yeah, dude, there are former governors listening to this right now.
You know, I'd leave you too if you said shit like that to me.
Yeah, you need to take your sorry asses and your sorry excuse of a currency out of here!
Take your nut coins and shove it up your butt coins.
That's it, you Imagine Dragon lovers. I fucking had it. Yeah, you want to kick nuts? Come on, Chuck. Let's kick nuts.
Oh God, he's kicking my nuts.
Oh, cover your butt, Matt!
Whew. Oh my gosh, wow. I didn't think security was going to have to get involved with that.
They never have before, which is kind of crazy considering all the crazy shit that happens in this bunker.
Yeah, I've been making some investments with Executive. He gave us like a little bit of a budget.
That's good.
It's like in savings bonds, so it's weird. Like I keep spending money out of my account, but like he keeps saying he'll make it back to me in like however long.
Well, he's a trustworthy guy, you know? I mean, you looked after a scorpion for the X amount of time.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I would honestly take 2 numb legs over for Executive. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, I hear that. He's a god among men.
He is, truthfully.
But let's stop with the sadness, the madness, and let's get into what this show is really about. Albums.
A show where 2 dudes talk tunes.
Yeah, it's season for the fans, baby. Haven't said that one in a while.
But yes, for those who are just joining us now, this is a show where AJ and I bring each other an album and we talk about it in great length, track by track.
Yes.
Things that we like, things that we don't like, things that we notice that the other person might not have noticed.
A little bit of history for context so you know who they are.
And even some fun little things in between.
Exactly. And what are those fun little things? I guess you got to stick around to find out.
Don't skip ahead.
No, we'll know. We always know.
There are timestamps, but if you do, you're not going to want to do that. Trust me.
Well, without further ado and without further interruptions, Shall we discuss the albums that we brought each other this week, Matt?
Yeah, honestly, AJ, I could not wait for this episode because we got some pretty fresh albums, I feel.
That we do. A little bit of like a commonality between them in terms of like sound, maybe a little bit of theme.
But completely different in execution and in product, I feel like.
I think that's a great way to put it. So, the album that I brought Matt this week is one of my favorites, Together Through Time by TWRP.
And the album that I brought AJ is one of my favorites, Cross, or Justice Self-Titled by Justice.
Yes, 2 electronic, synth pop, house, EDM, French disco, Agamemnon counterpart albums.
.exe.
.exe.
I mean, my album definitely has some creepypasta vibes. I'm not gonna lie.
In parts.
But yeah, we both had wanted to have these albums on the podcast before.
Yeah.
But didn't really have like, I mean, for me personally, I didn't feel like I had a good avenue to bring it on.
Mm-hmm. I got distracted.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens to me when I plan out albums.
But
what album do you want to start with this week?
ooh, let me think. Honestly, I could really talk about either album.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot to discuss.
Should we? I mean, we never really flip a coin. Should we try it this time around?
Should we do the family not the family album tonight method? That's our podcast. The album tonight method where we roll a die, even and odd.
Yeah. So I guess I mean, I'm usually just odd in general, but I'll take evens this time.
All right, we're gonna switch it up. I like that. Let's see what we get. All right, so that's a 3, which is odd, which is mine. So it looks like we're starting with Together Through Time by TWRP.
I wouldn't want to have it any other way.
Well, thanks, man.
It's a pretty good album.
I would agree, but we'll save our thoughts for our track by track, because right now, it's time for a little bit of history. So, Together Through Time was self-released by the band on May 18th, 2018, and it is their first canon full-length studio album. If you listen to my Family Vacation on Digital Nightmare, I believe I explained that their discography is a little all over the place.
Gotcha.
They've been making music since 2007, but they consider all their work before the EP The Device as not canon, since it's not indicative of the music they currently create. So this album is their first full-length studio album, and their 6th project since the release of The Device, and I believe would make it the 8th project overall in their discography. It's a little confusing.
You can very much tell that they've had a lot of like work to go through and a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Judging by how this album sounds, I feel like.
Yeah, if you compare it to The Device EP, it's night and day to how they used to sound. But TWRP, otherwise known as Tupperware Remix Party, are a Canadian costume synth-pop funk band that formed in 2007 and consists of Dr. Sung on vocals, keys, and talkbox, Commander Meowch on bass, Lord Phobos on guitar, and Hav Hogan on drums. Together Through Time is often considered the band's best album for its impressively consistent and quality track list, its stylistic evolution of sound from their previous projects, I'd say their best lineup of guest features, and its healthy blend of quirkiness and humor with genuine touching lyrics and song concepts. And it's also my favorite projects that they've released, though Over the Top is a close second.
Yeah, Rink Dinkster is one of their roadies, I believe.
That's true, and Chuck Amba Beam Bomb,
Hingle McCringleberry.
Hingle McCringle, Brong Tongle, all the
tour managers, Brong Tongle and Hingle McCringleberry.
So family heads, if you couldn't tell, this is a band made of characters.
And it's very fun. I do like the names, and I very much like the vibe, I think, of this band.
Yeah, they're very wholesome and very like quirky in a good way.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to be themselves and just express like what they're trying to basically express like their mission statement. They just like to have fun and party and just bring good vibes. And nothing wrong with that.
AJ, I have a question.
Yeah.
I know they're somewhat, we'll get to it a little bit later, but I know they're somewhat linked with like the Star Bomb, like, and also like
Yes.
Game Grumps sort of circle.
Sphere. Yeah,
networking
umbrella.
circle, yeah. And was this a band that you listened to in high school? Or found?
More so college.
Gotcha.
So like the first year that I was in school, I heard like a friend of the podcast, Evan, and I like went to like an event together, and like on the way home, he played like one of like NSP's new songs or something, and like I heard the music, I was like, damn, like this is really good. Like I haven't like heard NSP since like middle school, but like the music quality's definitely improved. And then he was like, oh yeah, there's this band called TWRP that does like all their backing music, and they do their own stuff too. So that got me to like kind of like check them out with their biggest song called The Hit, ironically, and which also featured Dan Avidan, but it was like more serious than Ninja Sex Party and like a lot more focused on the music as opposed to the comedy. So that's really what kind of like drew me to that side of like the sphere initially. And I think from there I just kind of like went down the rabbit hole of all like their EPs, their studio albums. And I would say TWRP is honestly one of the first bands that I actively followed. Because like when I first like got into them, they were in the process of releasing a new album. So I was like, oh shit, that's really cool. And then they kind of got me in like the trend of like listening to new music that was coming out.
That's pretty rad.
So thanks, TWRP.
Yeah, no, I got to be honest with you. A little bit of a precursor before we get to our track by track. I went into this album with kind of a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Just because, like, and nothing against like Dan Avidan or like Aaron
Hansen
and
Ninja Brian.
Ninja Brian. Who can forget Ninja Brian?
Of course.
I don't want to say notoriously, but I have expressed that like I'm not like as big of like NSP fan.
Yeah.
So I went into this thinking like, oh, this is just gonna be like a whole album of NSP-esque stuff. And while it does feature Dan Avidan, it is so like cohesive.
I know.
Yet it doesn't.
It takes itself seriously enough, but leaves a lot of room for levity, which is really cool.
And it's like not afraid to like kind of see the humor and recognize the humor, but there's still like enough musical chops to back it up.
Yeah.
Which was really, really cool. I think they're just like a nice reminder of like how music can like still be fun and like also very like lighthearted, but also impressive.
Yeah, man. Like a lot of these instrumentals are just like really like they just suit the music super well. They're very like well crafted and composed and performed.
Yeah, definitely. And I wholeheartedly agree. I think the features are like one of the best things about this album.
Yeah, like going through their whole discography, like the lineup is fucking insane. Just like a lot of TWRP staples that were there before and will continue after, but like just all in one project. And you could tell like this was like their kind of like swing for the fences where they really wanted to make this like their big project, like as like a full studio debut.
I had only listened to track, I want to say it's 5.
Life Party?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had only heard that song like prior to this when I was in college, and I was just like, oh, this is interesting. And I knew a lot of people who really liked TWRP.
Yeah.
But like I never really gave them a shot because of just like, oh, you're hanging out with YouTubers or whatever the fuck. But also there are YouTubers that make good music. So Past Matt is fucking wrong in that. I'm debunking my old fucking opinions.
Matt Busters.
Yeah, there is a Matt Busters out there, and I am on it, but it's not what you think. So I'm just gonna warn you right now.
That's true. That's for our sister podcast. We're not going to tell you the name.
No, absolutely. It's only available on the dark web.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was like really my only exposure to Tool. That was my only exposure to...
Stay tuned for that.
That was my only exposure to TWRP prior to this listening experience. And I spent a lot of time with both albums that we're talking about today. I think this might be the first album that I've listened to like more than 5-ish times if we're counting like half and whole listens to the whole project.
Nice, man.
Like I listened to this album a lot.
It's a lot of fun.
It is.
Like I feel like this is their best track list. I think it's still their best album. They've definitely had some highs past this one, but it's hard to beat because like it's just so consistent throughout.
And it's so like unapologetically like this is me. Like this is the best. Like this is like from what I can gather, the album that like defines the band kind of.
I would say so, because like a lot of like the concepts they talk about are like littered throughout this album, just in terms of just like enjoying life, getting through the hard times, but through like togetherness and love. Like it's cheesy, but like it's kind of necessary, especially like in this climate.
Oh, definitely. I would definitely say so. A little bit of levity right now is always appreciated.
Exactly.
And there's a puppet, right?
So in their newest era, at time of recording, Digital Nightmare, they made a whole music video where they had puppet versions of themselves perform one of the songs.
There wasn't a puppet on this album?
I don't think so.
All right, F tier. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm quitting the podcast.
Let's move on to Justice, I guess.
Yeah, let's talk about my album now that this shit is over. Jeez, I pretended to like this shit. No, I'm just kidding. It was not pretending at all. But shall I prove the fact that it's not pretending by starting with some track by track?
I think that's a great idea because we've been talking enough.
Yes, we have. I promise. We talk about music. We are a music podcast.
Not just our experiences with music.
Or in controversy against rival podcasts.
That's also true.
But let's start off with the first track, Head Up High.
Head Up High. I think this is a great start. This kind of continues the trend of doing overtures for all their albums. Started on the EP, I believe, Guardians of the Zone.
Gotcha.
Where basically they do like a little overture to kind of set up what each album's going to kind of be about, what it's going to sound like. And it even kind of comes back in a later track with the lyrics Head Up High, making like a little cameo appearance. It's a lot of fun. I like the little hand claps. They're super cheesy, but perfect for the style of music. The disco strings halfway through are also just such a nice touch. And it does really kind of foreshadow the direction they're going for their next album, which leans a lot more on like jazz fusion, specifically influenced by Cassiopeia.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I do like Cassiopeia.
I think you'd fuck with their next album, Return to Wherever. That's a good one.
I did listen to a bit of Digital Nightmare.
I love Digital Nightmare.
And I really enjoyed it.
It's a good one.
Head Up High, though, great like precursor to what is to be expected ahead, like you said.
Yeah.
The bass work on this track, I mean, all across this album.
Dude, Commander Meouch is fucking disgusting on the bass.
I will keep saying it over and over again in my notes, but it's like mind-blowing. Like his slap technique is like almost perfect.
I know.
I don't even know why I'm saying almost. Like I can't do that shit.
And he's doing that with pause, which is crazy.
Dude, do better, human race.
Yeah,
like,
Thundercat. This man has the balls to be an actual cat, all right?
don't say it to Tom, because Tom's gonna
he's
jump
gonna run
all
with that.
over that.
He's gonna run with that.
Thundercat? More like Blundercat.
Holy shit, it's like he's here in the studio with us.
Please, no, I'm just kidding. No, but I think what's really cool about it is like it feels like such a complete like track, despite it only being like a 1 minute overture, because like it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, like develops. There's like the little like halfway breakdown where everyone like starts cheering towards the end before it just kind of like has the vocals just like back into the head up high. It's just a fun little way to start off this whole album. I think it's a really good overture. Not one of my favorites in their whole discography, but a good one for this album specifically.
Definitely. That's probably like verbatim how I would say it too.
Yeah.
I think it starts off the album very well. I love the fact that like in this track specifically, it really feels like it's almost like introducing all the instruments.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because like it gives each instrument a chance to like breathe for a couple seconds. Not even just breathe, but like show off.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
It almost makes me like, God, it almost makes me kind of want it to be like a little longer because like they really go off on like their little like, this is the keyboard, this is the guitar.
Time for the bass.
The shit was kind of cool, not gonna lie.
I'm glad you enjoyed, man. And I definitely would recommend checking out some of their other ones.
I definitely will.
Like the Digital Nightmare one might be my favorite. That one's fucking excellent.
The tracks that I have heard on that one are phenomenal. So I think I'm going to be checking them out. Spoilers. Sorry, everybody. I did like the album a lot. But we've talked a lot about Head Up High.
Yeah.
I think it's time to synthesize her.
Matt, you can't say that.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
We're going to move on to the next track. It's called Synthesizer, okay? It's like a pun, like synthesizer.
Yeah, no, sorry. I misunderstood. Yeah.
Anyway, this is a really good track. It's one of their biggest, and I think it's for a good reason. It's very tender with a super satisfying hook.
Yeah.
Oh
my gosh.
Really leans into the concept, like lyrically and musically. Like it's a play on words. Like it's about like it's 2 words, synthesize her. But the song is literally about a synthesizer being created, and basically just like Dr. Song's appreciation for the instrument. But like it still works really well.
I feel like there's also kind of this element of the lyrics where it almost feels like they're like imagining like their dream girl in a way.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure is intentional, but because I didn't know that about like that being the real meaning of the track. So it's pretty cool with that added context too. I have to say, like, this is more of a niche thing. Their talk box work is really good.
Yeah.
And I know, like, obviously it's like soloing and then they put like the tube in their mouth and stuff. But even they're just like, the way that they're so clearly able to like form their like mouth shapes and stuff like that to really make it sound like almost like normal is kind of wild.
Yeah, because like for every song, Dr. Song is using a talk box. He never really uses just like his like natural vocals.
Yeah,
because like he's going for like this like kind of robotic character. But it still works, and like there's a lot of like variety that he like uses and technique with the talk box to make it just sound very clear, very coherent. While also just giving it a little bit of flair and style.
I mean this like legitimately, and I'm not like trying to make a joke or anything. Like the articulation like he has with his mouth, because like using a talk box is not easy. I mean, already the soloing aspect is like kind of crazy, but like the fact that he's able to make it like sound so clear and almost like he's just a robot singing,
exactly,
like that shit is cool to me.
I know.
I really like how much they lean into it.
Me too. It really just shows like the dedication they have to like this band as like characters, and like I love that they fully commit. The chorus is like super catchy. I love just how like light and airy it feels with that kind of like disco beat, as well as just like the wailing synths that The percussion is super fun. I love all like the little accents on the pre-chorus and just how crisp the kit sounds.
Oh my god, yeah.
And also just like the use of like so many like different key fonts used all throughout really leans into the whole concept of the song. There's like traditional piano in like the verses. I love there's just crunchy synths all throughout, like the spacey whines that kind of like pepper like the ambiance. There's also castanets.
I did write that.
Yeah.
Castanets and like hand drums. I think I heard some like bongos
during the bridge.
Yeah, that shit was awesome. It very much reminded me of like Toto's first album a bit.
Okay.
Just in terms of like kind of like similar to the breakdown on like I'll Supply the Love when it starts doing like the bit of the math rocky shit.
Yeah.
Except it wasn't doing like math rocky shit here, but like
Just like the sound.
just the sound
Yeah.
and the vibe and the smooth.
The smooth.
The smooth.
That twerp smooth.
Yo, he's got that twerp smooth. Oh man, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed this track a lot. This one has just been like an on repeat one for me.
Yeah, good shit, man. This is definitely. I think they made a music video for this one, which is really cool. I think it was the lead single for the album.
I could see
for
why.
good reason.
Yeah,
Yeah, very catchy. It hooked me immediately from hearing and got me to check out this whole album.
the synth, man, just yeah.
It really synthesized her.
Hey, it didn't work the first time, man. I tried.
I'm sorry, I thought I could do it. I was arrogant. My hubris got to me. Just like the protagonist of our next song, Phantom Racer.
This song like I was already pretty hooked like with the first two tracks.
Yeah.
This song like immediately got me.
Same, dude. Goated. I love this song. It features the Proto Men, which is a favorite band of Tom 8's albums.
I am quite a fan of just like the aesthetics and just the overall lore of Speed Racer.
I know.
And this song captures that perfectly for me.
Yeah, dude.
Like I've been kind of just not really related to the album, but I've been like trying to find like the cheapest way to rent the movie.
Yeah.
Like the
Nice.
live action movie because of just how much whenever the song comes on in like my rotation, I'm just like, oh my God.
I gotta watch the movie.
Like that shit is so good.
It's such a good hook, man.
And the Proto Men, like they
Yeah.
fucking kill it.
The vocalist. Did I write his name down?
I might have to check them out too, honestly, because like they were another band where it's just like I never really checked them out, but I've heard their name thrown around all the time.
They're really cool because like I don't know if it's all their discography, but a couple of their albums are themed after Mega Man. Like they're like Mega Man concept albums.
I remember
with a lot
Tom-
of Queen influence.
I remember Tom talking about that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I also know they do a lot of covers.
Yes, they do.
So-
Specifically Queen. They love Queen.
I love Queen.
So I think you might like the Proto Men.
This could be a match made in heaven right now. This could be the start of something great.
That's true. A mat made in heaven.
What other things do you like about Phantom Racer?
This features Aaron Hansen of Game Grumps as the narrator, which I think is a really fun cameo.
I thought he sounded familiar.
Yeah, he pops up from time to time on their albums. This one just screams 80 cheese in like the best way possible. The synths are superb, and they really
Amazing.
lean into this like neon futuristic aesthetic. I love the accent patterns on the post chorus. The bum bum ba da 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 dun dun da. Raul Panther, who is the vocalist for Proto Men, fucking kills it.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much performance and emotion, and it just creates, like, a super memorable character as this literal, like, ghost racer, just kind of, like, killing people through the track because he wants to win because, like, he died in, like, a past life. It's really interesting.
It's also great to see such like variety in themes for this album
Yeah.
too. Like not only are they like, oh, let's do like kind of like a skit song, but they lean so hard
my
into
God,
it
yeah.
and like match the aesthetic so perfectly.
And it's so genuine, too.
And it's just a banger. It's
Dude.
catchy
Yeah.
and just like you feel the energy right away. I think like Aaron Hansen as the announcer, like really like the vocals obviously make it, so
Yeah.
does the instrumental. But I love like just the fact that he's like narrating
Throughout
the whole
entire
situation.
song. He honestly, it makes this like the scene, like it really like sets the picture, and you just get like lost in that setting. Also, I use this song to run on the treadmill a lot.
I understand why.
Yeah, like if you want to just like lock the fuck in, like I'll like bump it up like when I'm like just like about the end, and I just like fucking just get lost in the song.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Whenever I am driving and this has come on, I did speed up a
Yeah.
little bit, and which is like, be careful if you're on 95. Be like a little careful at like 7 in the morning.
Matt, you were born to race and you'll die to win.
Don't tell me that.
You're gonna put ideas in my head.
I'm gonna say that next time I'm on the road.
Any idea why I pulled you over?
I'm born to race.
I'll die to win.
Oh man, this one like I know I have like a playlist called Spring Breakers at the Airport.
Yeah.
Where it's like all my crazy songs that I do like 90 miles per hour on.
Mm-hmm.
This song, like, it's almost like, because I try to go for like real, like intense, like driven songs, but this song is like so good that I kind of want to add it in low key.
Honestly,
I feel like it'd be
can
kind of
see
fun. One thing musically I have to say is like the guitar.
Oh my god, yeah.
Is insane.
Lord Phobos fucking shreds. It's crazy. I love like the little like break he gets after the bridge where it just kind of like soars before it goes in like the more like traditional solo. Like that part's just so fucking rad. Also the bridge itself builds so much tension
God,
before like the
yeah.
explosion, before like the racer kind of emerges from like the flames. Like that's such a cool moment.
You feel like you're watching it in like
dude.
a weird way, which is the strangest thing about it, but it's so cool. That part is so epic too, because like, how did he do it?
Exactly. He was a ghost the whole time.
The backing vocals also work overtime, especially toward the end, as they just keep singing faster, like over and over and over. That shit is so good. This one has gotten stuck in my head like numerous times.
It's an earworm in the best way possible. Should I move on to the next track?
Let's do it.
So Our Forefathers is the first straight instrumental track. This one definitely grew on me a lot more on this most recent re-listen. I usually, like, I liked it, but I actually added it to a playlist after bringing it on for the show. I really dig the almost kind of like funky yacht rock vibe it brings.
Yeah. This one, I feel like also leans into the city pop a
man.
bit, which I really like.
Bass line is super fun and bouncy. I also dig just how much the guitars are involved, how much they shred, and also the like classic piano tone used for the keys.
Oh, yeah.
It just grooves very hard. The instrumentals blend so well with the bass line. I also really like the wailing synths in the background. The drums are also super fresh. I like the open hat beat, gives it like a little bit of disco energy too. And I really just love all like the different sections that are involved in this track. It makes it feel like a whole kind of composition piece, which is cool for an instrumental.
Definitely. This track reminds me of the intro to Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh yeah?
Like at times. And like definitely not like to a T at all, but like for sure the energy. That's kind of where I was like, oh, this is very city pop coded. Because like the musicianship is like as good as city pop, like that era. I enjoy this one a lot. The bass knows like exactly how to steal the show.
Yeah, dude.
Especially with like the syncopated slaps. Like,
yeah, man. They're so good. I love like the accented like bass line he does with the upbeats that accent the piano melody. That's such a cool moment.
Especially with like how bright and clean the piano is too. Like
it just cuts right through.
This was like one of the tracks where I just kind of had to like marvel at what I was listening to.
Hell yeah.
Like, this is fucking awesome. Because you can't not every artist can pull off like putting a number in the title unless you're Prince.
Yes.
And low key, like, this shit eats.
They're doing it.
They really, really are.
In their own way.
I feel like all across this album, they have a good mix of like when to add singers and when to not have singers and let the instrumentals breathe, because a lot of the melodies kind of sing for themselves without even needing words or lyrics or anything like that. I love like toward the later half in the track when the guitar just becomes so much more active and colorful. The soloing is just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, Lord Phobos is fucking nasty.
I really wonder like if this was mostly like jam based song like making.
Oh yeah.
Or if it was like they had like a clear vision, like I want you to do this, because it almost seems like they had been like practicing like years and years and years, because they got the experience. You can tell like they are very competent musicians. I would love to hear them cover like I know I keep bringing up Toto, but I would fucking love to hear them cover like any Toto song, especially like Rosanna.
Yeah. Oh my god, that'd be with the talk box vocals.
Yeah,
that'd be rad.
That'd be sick as fuck. They should do like the Danny Sex Bang like under the covers kind of thing.
Yeah,
I would eat that shit up, honestly.
They did all the instrumentals on those albums, I believe, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. And I know they are like the backing band.
Yeah,
for a lot of times when like NSP goes on tour.
I think they were also the backing band for a lot of the studio stuff too. I could be wrong. They were in the music video for their cover of Africa, I think.
Yeah, I think I remember Andrew, my friend Andrew, telling me. Our friend.
Yeah.
Andrew. Okay, guys, let's get the rumors out right away. Andrew is canonically both me and AJ's friend.
I know it may have seemed pretty one-sided friendship, but he is both of our friends. That can happen. It's okay.
Shout out to Andrew, who may or may not be listening to this episode, because he also loves TWRP.
That's true. He's a big TWRP head.
I did tell him that we were reviewing it, and he was like, whoa, really? I was like, yeah.
So I guess he has to listen now.
I'm expecting it. You're going to have to come with notes. I want to see 3 references. Only you, Andrew. I want to see 3 references. DM me 3 references.
From this episode that we would understand.
Honestly, any other episode too. It'd be cool if you listen.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Please listen to our podcast. That goes out to all of you guys.
Yeah,
Tell your friends.
Please listen to our podcast.
We appreciate any support you give us.
Absolutely, especially like for 60 episodes. Like any people who've been here since the beginning.
We
like,
appreciate you a lot.
Thank you so much, and hopefully you're gonna enjoy. We appreciate any support that you can give us, and also hopefully you'll stick around for the ride.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one this season. We're excited. Speaking of fun, should we get on to this next track?
Let's do it.
All right. Next up, we have Life Party. This one's a super cute, feel-good song that aims to make you happy that you're alive, which can be pretty tough during these times. So I think Life Party is a good track to kind of focus in on.
Definitely, and it doesn't like. I think it's like the perfect amount of optimism before it becomes cheesy too.
Exactly. It's very sincere.
It is, because like even though it can be hard to remember that sometimes it is kind of a blessing just to be like, yeah, I fucking woke up today. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We're all here. The universe is random. Molecules assemble in random ways, but for some reason they assembled, and I'm here looking at, like, just out at everything right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
The talk box on here specifically really reminds me of like the Sonic Colors outro.
Okay.
Which is kind of fun because they have a talk box feature. And
Gotcha.
it's like kind of sounds like the same tempo and rhythm wise.
I see. Did Crush 40 also do that soundtrack?
I don't know.
Okay.
I want to say it might have been a different,
I see.
because that one for some reason slaps as opposed to the other ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, less butt rock.
Less butt rock, yeah. I like the sentiment of the song a lot, and I think it's kind of cool how the Life Party, like, it starts off and it sounds like you're just kind of like
At a party. It's a really cute framing device, and then it's like the dude who brings out his acoustic guitar, but instead it's like dude with a keytar to talk box, which is funny. And they also like lean into that during the bridge too, because like during the lead up to the lyrics, there's just like people in the background just being like, play Freebird.
I didn't notice that. That's really funny.
Yeah, I caught that on this most recent re-listen, and that was a really good bit. I dig the pre-choruses a lot. I just love like the syncopation of Dr. Sung's vocals with a think of how amazing that we are alive on this little tiny rock where we all reside. It's like super satisfying. And I also love the payoff where it goes into the last chord where they do the triplet accents at the very end. That's such a good moment. It's just full of positive vibes, just saying that being alive is all about being together, spreading love over hate. And it would be dope if we could all just drop that negativity and just have one big party. And I think this track serves as TWRP's mission statement, like, to a T.
I think like the guitar on here is so good because like the way that like they're able to do like the muted picking style, but it sounds so like rich and like full almost, and really kind of like adds to the rhythm. I feel like, I don't know, just this song always hits because obviously like this is not like an intense album of any kind.
No.
I would say like the most intense part of it is like the fourth from the last track Yeah, fourth from the last. That is correct. Because like that's like the saddest I think it goes. But
we'll get there.
It's still like a really lighthearted album, and this is like the crux of that, which I really really enjoyed. But if we don't have anything else to say about this track, can we talk about the next track a little bit?
I would love to, because "Take Care of You" featuring Lydia Persaud is fucking awesome.
I feel like I've been making comparisons like the entire time. This like feels like Persona music.
Oh yeah.
And it's almost like sometimes I like forget that I'm not listening to like the Persona 5 OST.
Yeah, her Lydia's vocals are very similar to Lynn's of Persona 5, so I can definitely see that.
Definitely. I love the chorus. The I take care of you.
And I love how they harmonize with the talk box too.
Yeah.
That's just a really cool moment.
It's also just like a really sweet song.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Just about, taking care of your partner, just being there for them, and just like love everlasting. It's very cute.
The clavinet in the bridge goes so fucking hard. This is one where I was like, oh yeah, there are keys.
Yep.
Holy shit. She's such a good vocalist where it's like, it almost harks back to like the city pop-esque thing I was talking before, because it like helps set the tone, because it's so like lush and like full and like great
and epic
and
it rules, and I like it,
and it takes care of me. The rhythm guitar specifically on this track, I was like, this is awesome. Like, again, I was locked in, but I'm like so locked in at this point. This one has been a like frequent replay for me. It's
a great one. She's done one other song with them, I believe, on their EP Guardians of the Zone called what the fuck is it? Making a Move. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
That's a good one. I think you'd also enjoy that one quite well. I really like the kind of more disco angle this track goes for as well, especially on the choruses. And I like how TWRP like handles features in general, where they let the feature just have the spotlight, and they like to kind of like work around them, which is really cool.
Yeah, think about that. F1 trillion.
Honestly, yeah. Like they intertwine very well. It's not just kind of like one over the other. It's like they are giving their feature the time in the spotlight, but also combining and melding very well to just like make just a great combination.
Yeah. I was also going to say, like, with this track in particular, the fucking, like, the instrumental for me, I feel like it's like, I won't even say simplistic. Definitely not simplistic is not the word I would use. But, like, it's not, like, I don't think as, like, complicated as a lot of the other stuff, like, technique-wise, but it's still so effective.
I know, man.
Like, the instrument, I think, like, the instruments don't overpower the singer.
Yeah, it's just like a solid, like, funk beat. With Phobos's like wah guitar strumming, just like stealing the show. Like that's fucking incredible. Also, the lyrics are pretty basic too. Like it's a very simple song, but like the sentiment of just like being there for someone that you love so much and promising to take care of them is just really sweet. So like simple is effective. Next up, we got another banger with another feature, a TWRP staple. We got Tactile Sensation featuring Planet Booty. This track fucking rips. I like it a lot.
I think like the track is really good. It has gotten stuck in my head a lot.
Yeah.
This is one where as much as I do like it, sometimes I get like a little tired of it after just like a little bit of the song's duration. I still listen to it, like without a doubt, because like it is very fun to listen to.
Yeah.
I love the synths. I just like, sometimes I'm just like this. For me, this might be like one of the only misses.
Really?
Maybe not miss per se, but like it's just
one
not
that you're
one
not
that
fond of.
Not one that I return to if I don't.
I see.
Listen to the album in full.
Is it just like the duration and just kind of like the repetitiveness that you're not a fan of?
I think it's more like
Planet Booty.
Yeah, if I'm being honest.
I see.
I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is a good song, and then just every once in a
All
while,
right, tonight is the night.
And then he'll say something like, and I'll be like, oh yeah,
Planet Booty,
classic Planet Booty, I guess. But like, I gotta give it to him for like bringing the performance, though, without a doubt.
They really ham it up on this track, just going for like the kind of classic funky soul jam about getting intimate, making love. And combined with TWRP's instrumentals, I think it's a really cool combo.
It kind of reminded me of like Strobe Light from like Humans.
Gotcha.
A little bit. Better, definitely.
I like Strobe Light.
Strobe Light is one of the better ones, but less club classics. Yeah. Because that one's more of like a club beat kind of song.
This is more funk.
This is more funk. I just think like, honestly, like the melody for me, like I always have trouble remembering this one, like melody wise.
Gotcha.
Which is funny because it's one of the only ones like with a vocalist.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like I don't know, like
it just doesn't click for you.
I guess not, and I don't know why.
That's totally fair, man. You're just not feeling this tactile sensation.
Just like I get it, Planet Booty. I'm sorry, but I just like sometimes enough is enough.
I mean, it's definitely a very cheesy song. Like the way that the choruses are delivered, it's like almost like mantra-like. It's very like staccato on beat. But I think it's fun. I also like the little like the drum bass, just like leading into everything. I think that's fun. I like how Sung and Booty harmonize during the second pre-chorus. The bridge is also a nice change up from like the straight ahead funk. Gives the vocals and keys a chance to shine within like a more kind of low key way. I think it's just a really cool, just straight funk song. It's one that I've always enjoyed from listening to it, and I always kind of go back to it.
I think honestly, pacing wise with this album, it's definitely impressive that it held my attention for, if not all of it, most of the record.
It's almost an hour, but like it doesn't really feel like it, which is cool.
But shall we go on to track 8?
Yes, our next instrumental track, we have Disco Volante.
I don't have like the most to say about this track, but it is very good, especially with like the studio imagery.
Yeah,
I like that shit in the beginning. It was really cool.
It's like it starts off like the muted sound, and you have like the rainstorm happening in the background before it just becomes like clear at like 30 seconds, 40 seconds in. The key font is super pleasant to listen to. Has this almost kind of like wispiness to it, and then the guitars come in and just makes it fuck so much harder. I also enjoyed like the hand claps that replace the snare drums because like a little more stylistic flair. And I like the overall more like synthwave direction this track goes for as opposed to the other instrumental track.
I love the fact like the guitar, most of it is just like crunching those power chords.
Yeah.
That shit like really hits for me. And it's also, I feel like it's one of the most like animated the guitar like feels. I mean, I know I was just, it is pretty sick. Like it does do like some soloing, but like I love me some good power chords.
Yeah, man.
Genuinely, sometimes, like you said, simple can be effective.
Exactly. Honestly, that's kind of TWRP's mantra. Even though they are impressive musicians, a lot of their lyrics are very simple, but it gets right to the point, and that's what they need.
They make good use of their interludes in general, I feel.
Yeah, man.
Because, like, even though they're interludes and, like, well, maybe this one is still, like, a full song, but it's, like, just not as long.
Yeah.
They still, like, utilize its space on the album well, I feel like.
It's perfectly placed, and it doesn't really detract from the overall experience. If anything, it adds to it. It also kind of foreshadows the ending of the album with the last track, because there's like a bit of a storm motif from this track to the last one, which is kind of sweet. I like that.
Especially, like, in relation to the title.
Yeah, man.
Because, like, you see the clouds rolling in. It's like, we're going to be here together through time.
Exactly.
I don't know what that voice was.
That's your TWRP Together Through Time impression.
Together Through Time. ASMR.
That's Mr. Through Time.
Everybody buy 5 Gum.
Oh, shit. We do have that sponsor still, so thank you, 5 Gum. Shout out for keeping us afloat.
That'd be crazy if all the people were like, yeah, 5 Gum, please sponsor us.
Of all brands.
Anything else to say about Disco Volante?
No, because I'm fucking hyped to get this next track.
This is a very good track.
Starlight Brigade featuring Dan Avidan of Ninja Sex Party Game Grumps. This is also one of their most well-known songs, and this is one of their best, I think. It's phenomenal front to back.
It's very, like, Tame Impala coded. Like,
Okay.
I was kind of getting some, like, Currents vibes a little bit.
Gotcha.
From the way,
Yeah.
like, because they kind of had that one bouncy song that, like, kind of sounds a bit like this.
Yeah.
Dan's vocals are just fucking amazing.
Dude, Dan's features on every TWRP album is like it's a great thing, but it also leaves you like kind of wanting more because like they're so good on like every TWRP song that he does that it kind of makes you wish he did more serious music outside of this band.
Yeah.
Cause like N.S.P's great. Like I love them for what they are, but I wish Dan Avidan had like more of like a serious avenue. Cause like when he does these songs, it just tops anything N.S.P's done, in my opinion.
Even like his covers, he can bring like the energy and the sincerity, I feel like, in like already like serious lyricism.
Yeah.
So it's like, welcome to my parents' house.
Exactly.
Like, we don't always need to be like, you know what I mean?
I know.
But also, write what you love.
Exactly.
Within reason. But write
That's a
what
good
you
point.
love.
As long as it's not hurting nobody.
That's true.
That's very anti-TWRP.
That's true. That's true. It's just like a majestic track to me. It's fun, like imagining people who, I don't know, like might have known Dan Avidan from like maybe Game Grumps or N.S.P, and then hearing this and imagining like their minds being blown. Because holy shit, like he fucking kills it on this track.
I know, man. His vocals are excellent at just portraying the emotions of the main character. It's very rush-coded in the best way possible. Just embodies the fantasy of like a space rebellion against like a tyrannical overlord. I love like just how it's very synthwave leaning in with like these chunky synths riding the backbone for the track and the super like a fat electro beat that drives it. I love the tension in the pre-choruses that just keeps building with like that piano loop with Dan's vocals getting louder and louder before the chorus crashes in. Such a great moment. I love the way the lyrics flow during the chorus as well. It's super satisfying. It's like Danny just rides the chorus effortlessly. And I also like how he plays like frequent rhyme schemes. It's very like clever and catchy. There's also a music video for this track. It has like a lot of views on YouTube. I'd highly recommend checking that out.
Okay.
Because it basically personifies this track through animation.
Oh, awesome.
Which is really fucking cool.
I'm kind of realizing now as we're talking about a lot of these tracks, I feel like you don't get a lot of artists that just like double down on just a song's vibe.
Yeah.
While also being like so consistent anymore. Like, I know I mention them every season in most episodes, but like Ween, I feel like is one of the only like artists that I've listened to in my long listening journey where like each song really just feels like its own lived in experience, but it doesn't like feel like you're listening to something so jagged in terms of the vibe or like I don't know, like so different and flip floppity.
It still it still feels cohesive on the full project.
Flip floppity. That's my that's the new punchy.
That is the correct term. Matt did go to Juilliard. Canonically.
Yeah. We used to do this podcast in the radio station at Juilliard.
That's right. And now you can dox our college.
But I think we need to talk about this next track because it grew on me.
Yeah. Next up, we have The Perfect Product featuring JP Incorporated. This is a fun little skit track parodying infomercials with a very uncomfortably personable salesman that's peddling a product by saying buzzwords but never explaining what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I love like the opening bit where he's just like, "How are you?" So. That's great.
I was saying like it reminds me of a lot of what High Wraith was trying to do
Yeah.
with its really overly corporate sounding
Yeah.
instrumentals, but like and having someone being like, invest in this, put all your money and your time in this. But it's like literally just about nothing,
Exactly.
just words
Yeah.
being thrown at you.
Never tell you what the product is, but you do really need it because it's going to fix all the problems in your life because it's the perfect product.
The guitar is really good on this
Oh
one.
my God, yeah.
I for a skit, like genuinely, it
Yeah.
still has enough to really enjoy musically, I feel.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, again, the talk box soloing here, it's funny.
Perfect product.
It's funny, like, just imagine him getting so hype, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
as he's just like speaking into this tube, just kind of going with the guitar solo. Also, the bass line is super groovy at the end.
Oh, yeah, oh my gosh, it's really good.
Love that part. JP Incorporated is perfect as like the salesman. Like he plays up that role very well. As like you kind of hear like the corporate synths in the background for like the choruses, it just kind of like narrates over it. That's just a really cool moment. And I also just like how much he just demeans the person he's selling to, which is us, the audience.
Yeah.
Which is very funny.
I feel like what's nice about this is that although it's very silly and stuff like that, like I don't feel fatigued per se, but I definitely think if it was like a little bit longer, it would have maybe veered a little bit into annoying.
That's fair. I think it is definitely like perfectly like timed because it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just
No.
like a goofy skit. It lets the instrumentalist get a chance to shine, gives the feature a chance to shine, and then it's over. And then it transitions into the saddest song on the album.
Yeah. This song really did throw me for a loop. It's
Yeah.
very sad. It's called Pets.
Uh-huh.
It's track 11. I do like it though. Like
I love this song a lot. Like it hurts to listen to, but like goddamn, is it just really well done?
the synth solo is very nice. I
Yeah.
do like it. I think what's nice about this is like even though it's a sad song, it's still very upbeat.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
almost like kind of just like looking into the sky, wishing for like better times or whatever, while also like reminiscing.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like it kind of treats death like a celebration of like what you once had.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's really cool about this track and the band
Mhm.
is like through tough times, it's good to just remember good times.
Yeah,
you
and there's
know?
always a silver lining at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Like you said, I just really love the juxtaposition with like they're not like overtly sad, but they definitely tug at the heartstrings like an almost just kind of like primal way because it's just like just raw emotion and like sadness over loss, but like with this really fast paced like funky instrumental in the background. But like again with their signature positivity, they turn into like a more bittersweet track, just talking about like the memory of a pet, how it will always live on, how you cherish the experiences, and how they help you grow throughout your life. And also it just perfectly describes like the relationship between a pet and their owner.
Yeah.
Just like that special bond. Like the way they did that, it always just like chokes me up, especially like the little memory, like specific memories, because this is about Dr. Sung's cat that passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So like the specific memories about Sung and his cat just makes it a lot more personal. And also just shows the value that a pet can bring into someone's life and how it just can hurt losing them as much as like losing a person.
It's so like fucked up too in this regard, like when it comes to like grieving pets, because like pets, even if we like let them have a lot of our time, they're for only like a portion of your life, but like your pet's whole life.
Exactly, dude.
And like it's just such like it's such a fucked thing. Like it's so cruel almost that life is like that.
Mhm.
But it's also at the same time like it's so sweet that he dedicated all this time
Yeah.
and like to writing this song and to have two really epic solos.
Yeah, man.
Like the synth and like the guitar
guitars,
solo that
yeah.
like follow one another.
And they're both just like outcries of emotion, like through music, which is excellent.
Definitely. Yeah. You could tell like he feels the passion and it's like an upbeat song about pets, but like at the same time you don't feel like it's just like hamming it up or just like
Yeah, this is like genuine like sadness, but like acceptance and like hope, which is just a really cool combo. And it also made me want to go hug my dog, so I did that after I listened to this album.
AJ's dog is pretty cool. Anything else to say about track 11?
Now let's get happy, Matt, and let's strike some poses.
I do like this track a lot.
Yeah.
I think the only thing about this track that stinks is like just because there's like 14 tracks, like remembering all of them sometimes can get a little bit difficult for me.
Gotcha.
And this one it does have like the talk box singing,
Mm-hmm.
but like I feel like it's not like as I don't want to say as memorable.
It's a lot more low key in terms of like the delivery. It's not as much like kind of in your face. It's It's definitely a vibe shift from Pets and from Perfect Product.
Yeah.
It's kind of keeping up that funk. It's a little more hopeful, but a little more low key and just like how it's delivered. Very smooth with this like laid back bass line, like mellow keys. And it's also just about enjoying life and not letting other people or society bring you down.
Is this one the one that's like almost 6 minutes?
Uh,
Isn't it like 5 minutes 40?
I think that's the next track.
The next track. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, this one's more, I think like more to the 4 to 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I do like the low key nature, as you said before. The saxophone solo is fucking awesome.
There's all. Did you also hear the lick in there at some points?
I don't know if I did. Like if I recognized
it. They have that a couple times. They have one on here where it's the key lick leading into the bridge. Where it's just like the chiming keys, the bum bum bum. It goes da 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 da, and then it segues into like the next part.
It just like keeps happening over and over.
It's just that one little like bass, so it's kind of hard to catch. But then I saw that, I was like, oh, you motherfuckers. But it was funny. It's like they're a funny band, like through like their music and like their lyrics and just overall concept. So I really appreciate that on this re-listen. I also like how the bridge is in French.
Yeah,
I think it works out pretty well for like the vibe this whole song is going with, and. Yeah, I just really like Strike a Pose a lot. The chorus especially, I think it's super catchy.
There is this kind of like slight moment in the song where it starts saying like we got to fight for our right.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, oh fuck, yeah.
All right.
We do.
Under
don't
the
we?
light.
It just feels like this epic moment, like almost like in like a cinematic way. Like,
Yeah, man.
yeah, you know what?
I
will strike that pose.
Yeah, it's just about like letting loose, having fun, not letting people like tell you like how to be or think, and just, strike a pose because you're a superstar. It's just good vibes. Shall we move on to this next track?
Yes, we shall. This track number 13, is called Maximum Thrust.
I think this is 14.
This is 14?
Yeah, I think so. Because there's 15 on the album, I'm pretty sure.
I thought there was 14.
Let me double check,
Unless
because I may be a liar. I may be a big fat liar starring Frankie Muniz.
Oh, God.
No, it's 14. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, gotcha.
I am a big fat liar starring Frankie Muniz.
Fuck, is that the one where the guy turns blue?
Yes.
Am I Paul Giamatti?
I think so.
Oh, fuck. I'm going to turn blue by the end of this podcast.
No, I'm Paul because I'm the liar.
Oh, fuck.
You're Frankie Muniz.
Shit.
I'm going to turn blue.
Wait for that, family heads.
Yeah.
It's going to be it's crazy.
We tweaked the thumbnail so I'm blue for this episode.
That's pretty funny.
But Maximum Thrust.
Maximum Thrust is... I feel like this track is almost the embodiment of why, like, everything that I have enjoyed musically about this band.
I see.
From this album.
Gotcha.
Like, I feel like it has all the elements that I love. And yeah, no, it's a great penultimate track, I feel like.
Yeah, it's very epic in terms of scope and scale. If I'm being honest, though, this is actually one of my least favorite tracks on the album.
I could see why.
Yeah.
Especially since, like, all the other tracks are so memorable.
Yeah.
Even the one that I said wasn't that memorable. Like,
it's memorable for a different
track
reason.
7, I just, like, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I think just in terms of, like, the style it's going for, it's not my favorite. I like how it has this kind of, like, new wavy, like, techno vibe with, like, a disco groove. And I also feel like Sung's vocals on the verses would make a really cool vaporwave sample. But I feel like it goes on like a little too long. I like the overall concept. It definitely grew on me on this most recent re-listen, but it's not my favorite still. I feel like it's just kind of like whatever in the grand scheme of thing. I always have like a hard time remembering this one. This is my tactile sensation for you.
I see.
But I still think it's very well crafted. It reminds me a lot of their older work too, which is really cool. Very like device coded. I like the little bass solo going into the second chorus, and Lord Phobos really shines on this track a lot with like the soaring, like wailing accented guitars. And I also like the bridge a lot with the twinkling instrumental with Sung's vocals like muffled in the background before going to like a really cool synth solo. So there's a lot of goodness in this track, but overall, as like a cohesive piece, it just doesn't really speak to me.
I could definitely see why. It is cool though, like having a song with this much amped up energy toward the end of the album.
That's a good point too.
Because it is fun. Because it's fun to like kind of have one last like hurrah before like the album is over.
Brings down to the more mellow again.
Yeah. So they're very good with that in terms of pacing and kind of like being able to divide it up a bit.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
But I don't have much to say about
Maximum Thrust.
Yeah. Maximum Thrust. I was going to say just this track. We get to the closer, though.
That we do.
Feels pretty good, which feels almost like a somber ending in a way, but like at the same time, pretty good.
Yeah, it works pretty well. It does feel pretty good, TWRP. Kind of got it to a T. I think it is a really great closer, though, because like I think paired with Maximum Thrust, it's kind of like a 1-2 punch because it's just like the highs and the lows of this album, and you kind of hear like both of those sides just like front to back, which is really cool. It grooves really hard till the very end. I like the ocean sounds in the background as well. It kind of ties back to Disco Volante, as well as just like what the album cover is trying to portray too.
I was gonna say this one very much felt like the album cover.
Yeah,
there were a few different ones that felt like it, but like this one,
like this is like the peak of that concept. Guitar work is once again phenomenal. I love like the dueling channels playing both parts before the first sax melody. Also, the saxophone goes hard as fuck on this track, being primarily leading this song, which is really cool too. I love both the solos, giving the saxophone and the keys a chance to shine, and having the main chorus of the song being like a frequent lick used to segue into new sections is really dope. And the guitar work is just impeccable on this track, very jazz fusion-esque and clean sounding, which is refreshing at this point on the album.
I would say like replace when I said somber with more bittersweet, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like you almost kind of don't want it to end in a way because this album really is a pick me up. I feel like,
yeah, man.
But it is cool to like that they're able to sort of capture your heart even like in the more minute moments too.
Yeah, sometimes the good times have to end.
That's true,
and that's okay because it felt pretty good. Also, they do the lick again on this track.
I'm gonna have to look out for that now.
Yeah, it goes.
I'm definitely now. I want to re-listen to the album again.
It's fun. Honestly like this re-listen like had me catch like a lot of the things I missed like listening to it like throughout the years, like the Freebird Shannon Life Party, like the little uses of the lick, the motifs that are kind of all spread throughout. So honestly, it's worth it, especially for a self-produced album. It's very impressive. But with that, Matt, what did you think of Together Through Time by TWRP?
Honestly, it was a very fun listening experience. I obviously like I have to listen to a lot of these albums at my job while I'm working because, you know, time is, although we're all together through time, there's not a lot of it, I feel like.
That's also true.
In terms of work-life balance for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely was always a mood booster whenever I had it on as I was working. Like, I'd always be like, kind of like, jiving around at my workplace, like dancing, and my coworkers would be like, what the hell are you doing? But it is great. The musicianship is like not only tight, but like so fun and like, ooh, what are they gonna do next? Like so full of variety and like purpose and potential. And I love just like hearing all the instruments throughout the album, but also like even just in the first track,
man,
have a chance to just absolutely go so fucking hard.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the themes and stuff, at first I was kind of like, this is a little silly. But after a while, you kind of start to really appreciate the fact that they're just trying to bring you levity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, hey, this was made in what, 2018?
2018, yeah.
So the fact that they were able to make sort of like timeless levity is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why it's a cult classic. And Phantom Racer, man.
Goes hard as fuck.
That track is so good.
Yeah.
If I had to name my favorite tracks, I would probably say like Synthesize Her is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Our Forefathers has definitely like you grown on me a bit. Without a doubt, Take Care of You, hands down, that one is amazing. And then I'd probably say Pets. Pets is definitely it's sad, but like I like the way that they attacked that subject matter.
It's like the emotional high point of the album, and it definitely tugs at the heartstrings.
I don't know rating wise where I would put it though. I think I want to give this a very like it's just a solid 8. Like this is really enjoyable. I can definitely see myself returning to it. I have like 5 or 6 times. I've returned to the tracks individually too.
Yeah.
I'd probably put this at like high B.
Nice, man.
It's very fun, and I want to check out more of the band's stuff.
I think you'll enjoy it. It's a pretty, while their discography is lengthy, it doesn't feel like it.
I feel like I can see this getting higher too.
Yeah.
It's very nice to have an album starting off that like I genuinely enjoyed. Both one that I brought you and one that you brought me.
That's true.
So I feel like the start of last season, I was just kind of like
2 albums you didn't really care for.
So it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I was moved. Let's say high B.
Word.
And like an 8 out of 10.
Hell yeah, man. I'm glad you liked it that much, and I hope you continue your TWRP journey, and we can discuss more in the future. This album, I think, holds up really well, which I'm very glad that it does, because I was kind of worried going into it that like my kind of like wonder for this band would kind of like fall apart, but it still hasn't. I still love this band. They're great. I would definitely say it's the band's best work because it's such a phenomenal track lineup. Like there are no skips whatsoever, and I'm pretty sure every track besides like 3 of them are on my playlist. All these songs represent the band at their best creatively and musically, showing their mission statement as a band on Life Party, their silly side on The Perfect Product, their emotional side on Pets, and their sheer dastardly musicianship on pretty much every other song. Speaking of which, the instrumentals are all fucking killer across this project. Commander Meowch's bass lines are filthy, nasty, funky on every track and are always a highlight to hear kick ass in the mix, especially on Phantom Racer. Dr. Sung's vocals show such a wide variety of emotional and sonic range, even though he's singing through a talk box, which is very impressive. Lord Phobos shreds as always, with his solo on Pets being such a high emotional point on the album. And Hav Hogan's drumming I would probably say is the least memorable, as it's nothing too crazy, but it's still fantastic, with Tactile Sensation being like a rhythm player's dream.
Oh, definitely.
Lyrically, this album isn't super deep, and it can be very on the nose, but that's the whole charm of this band. They wear their heart on their sleeve and make genuine music that aims to bring people together, which can't be said about a lot of musicians. Though with that, there are still plenty of creative high points with the grim metaphors on Phantom Racer, the wordplay on Synthesizer, and of course the emotional depth of Pets. Production-wise, this album, I'd say, this is probably the weakest aspect of this album, which is just a byproduct of being self-produced. Like everything is crisp enough where you can hear everything in the mix, but like you can definitely tell like they did this like themselves. Like it's not quite up to professional standards, but it's just good enough to like be appreciated. So Together Through Time is an album that'll make your head bang, your ass shake, and your heart warm. I'd highly recommend this to anyone who just wants to sit down and listen and have a good time. So I give this a solid A tier.
Honestly, that's so valid because like I did not have like a bad listening experience with this album. So.
It's hard to. Like these songs are just really fucking good. And this band is just really nice. And I'm glad that they exist. Well, that was Together Through Time by TWRP, but family heads, as you know, we always bring on 2 albums to talk about track by track. So Matt, shall we talk about Cross by Justice?
Yes, we shall, because I'm very interested to hear all of your thoughts about it.
Yeah.
Cross by Justice was released on June 11th, 2007 through French music labels Ed Banger Records and Because Music, and is the debut album of French electronic house duo Justice. Current members of the duo include Gaspard Auge and Xavier de Rosnay, who can also be credited for producing the album. Both of them, not just Xavier.
Justice combined.
Yes, the collective duo. The intent behind the album was to create something straddling between opera disco. It features a variety of micro samples from artists such as Prince, Britney Spears, and Madonna, as well as orchestral motif samples interlaced throughout the record, some of which are accompanied by vocalists. This collection of groovy yet frantic dance tracks reached number 11 on the French albums chart, became certified gold in the UK in 2011, and was awarded a diamond certification from the Independent Music Companies Association.
Damn. Good for Justice.
This record has also been included in the 1001 albums to listen to before you die, with famous EDM artist Zed stating, "If there was ever one album I would recommend combining production and musicality, it would be Justice's Cross. I still feel it sounds better than most electronic music today." And I gotta be honest with you, here's some Matt story for you. This was a Matt high school album in the height of me enjoying Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Because at the time I was like, oh, I want more music that sounds like Daft Punk. Where can I find it? And I forget where I even came across them, but I was like, oh, Justice. I hear a lot of people talking about it. And I was like, oh, they're very interesting. Also, they're not really like Daft Punk,
No,
I would say.
They're quite different.
They get lumped in with them a lot, which I think is one of the band's like weaknesses, but also their strengths. I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, they're like kind of the next Daft Punk, but in reality, they were never trying to be Daft Punk.
They're trying to be like their own thing.
Which I personally think is like how you need to look at them, even though a lot of people lump them in the same like kind of area.
Sphere, yeah.
Because they started, I mean, I presume they started like in like before 2008. Like you don't really just like, hey, let's just make
dropping
this.
an album.
Yeah. Hey, I just met you. Let's just make this right now. Like obviously they had experience.
And then you hit the billboard from the jump.
But you can definitely like tell that this is their own project.
Yeah.
Especially this one, which is a lot more rough around the edges, I would say, like terms of the genre than Daft Punk. with anything. Even I would say this is more abrasive than Random Access Memories.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
easily.
Random Access Memories was like intentionally abrasive in the sense where it was like, oh yeah, like this is the theme kind of, where like we're the robots, but here's like the dark circuitry of robotry. Robotics is the word. Robotry. I don't know why, but like the way I said that reminded me of like Mr. Krabs being like debauchery.
Robotchery.
But this one is more rough in a way that's like supposed to kind of put you in a place, I feel like.
Yeah.
Put
definitely
you in the
sets
vibe.
a mood. Yeah.
Sets a mood that I've been very interested to know how you feel generally.
Is it time for a little bit of H3 then?
Sure.
So I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, but I definitely
We've definitely talked about it before.
I've talked about how this album I just did not like for like the longest time. Like since first listening to it, I just didn't really like how abrasive and like aggressive it was as electronic music. And I think a lot of that has to do with me thinking it would sound like Daft Punk. Which is the mistake that I went into listening to it. I had no like frame of reference for the band. I just heard like, oh, listen to Justice. They're cool. But upon this re-listen, I think I may have been reformed, Matt, because I liked it a lot more than I used to.
That's very good. Because
Yeah.
I remember you kind of saying it before, like you didn't really, which everybody's entitled to not like them.
Yeah.
It definitely, there are tracks on here where I'm just like, it could be the bias speaking a little bit. But I think honestly, with this last re-listen, my fondness for this group became even more. Because I'd listened to this album in full, and I listened to their later album Woman in full.
That's a good one. I like that one a lot.
And that one is really good. It's a very good album. But so was this one, I think.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed each track upon these last few re-listens, and I cannot wait to talk about them. So
without further ado,
we should just hop right in with not the title track, with the
the opening.
with the opener, Genesis.
God, I love Peter Gabriel. He fucking kills it on this track.
He's hey, listen, they're not the legacy band that is sampled in here. I have some of the sample lists, like
Word.
every other track or so. If you want to know what the samples are, I don't know precisely, but I do know like where they got them from.
Okay.
Because the reason why I don't know is because they said they use so many, like in their own words, that they don't even fucking know.
It's like the avalanches on their projects, so that makes sense.
Because they said like, yeah, there's some samples that definitely would not get cleared.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So they were like, we're just not going to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. Oops.
They were just like, we know that there's some Slipknot, Queen, and 50 Cent in this track.
Not gonna tell you.
Not going to tell you where, but yeah.
Tee-hee. Guess you got to find out.
Oh, look at me. That's what they sound like.
That is true.
That's what
They're
all
French,
people-
yeah.
exactly. Oh my gosh. You know what's so funny? We were saying last season for the first episode that we thought that fucking
Sparks sounded French.
and I thought they were British. So,
Yeah.
and they actually sound like that. So
Exactly.
it's just like, it's funny, just the complete opposite band.
Well, what a
Like-
full circle.
Like, let's create this amazing operatic disco album. It's called Genesis. Oh man. But
Justice.
I haven't even talked about the actual track yet. I do like this opener quite a lot. I think like one of the best things about this album right off the bat for me is how like grandiose they make this track and a lot of the tracks feel, especially this beginning with the orchestra hits.
Yeah, it's very ominous, almost biblical, which I think is part of like a concept, like a little bit, because there's a lot of like some of the track names are references to the Bible.
Yes.
Is that like anything specifically, or just like a motif?
I think it's just kind of a thing with them.
Yeah.
With this debut album, my hypothesis with why this album sounds like this and why their symbol is like that is like the cross for many is like a comforting symbol.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to make the most uncomfortable like representation of that as
That's
possible.
cool.
I could definitely argue that for like
Stress.
track 10. Yeah, I was about to say, which I have a lot to say about that. But Genesis, it's like hard to describe their music as anything but like sharp and pointy.
Oh, it's very crunchy all throughout.
like and jagged.
It's scratchy.
Yes, very scratchy. But I do like it in parts because we do know Matt does enjoy the crunchy lo-fi production of things.
That he does.
I love the crackly bass synth that like rips through your ears on the riff.
Yeah, the bass line fucks very hard.
And like there are moments that, like, obviously a lot of this album is sampled. I'm pretty sure there are some tracks where, like, the bass, they're just doing it.
Yeah, I could see it on this one because like you could just like hear how loose the strings are like when they hit those chords, which is really cool.
It'd be funny if they were like doing drop D for fucking
For
disco.
EDM.
Yeah, I think they even said in an interview that like the bass work on this album is what proves the fact that it's still a danceable album.
Yeah, that's fair.
They said something along the lines of that, but don't quote me. Quote them. It's on the wiki.
That's true.
Um, I do like the like bass synth that's used. I love like the end of the track and like how it incorporates the theme from earlier, but with like
Yeah.
a piano involved.
Mhm.
It really just makes it feel like this giant wave of something is coming, and like
Yeah.
you're fucking alone. Like it's
Yep.
crazy.
Just witnessing the dawn of this like experience. I think it's a pretty cool track. I enjoy it. It sets the tone very well.
Definitely.
I definitely prefer it like once it gets like going a little more. I like the kind of like
Yes.
the laser blast synths. They're like a cool touch before going to like the accented, almost string sounding synth fonts. There are moments that feel super grandiose and biblical, which is very impressive for such digital sounding music. And I think it's a solid opener, but not a favorite.
I completely understand. I don't really know how often, like, as much as I love this album,
Yeah.
I think there's only like a couple of these
Yeah.
that like I would listen to outside of the album.
Agreed.
The ones that I'm gonna name are gonna shock you, but like I don't really think Genesis is one of them for me. Only because like then I'm just like, well, if I listen to this, I want to listen to the rest.
Exactly. It's there to set up the album, especially with how it segues into the next track as well.
Which the next track
It's fucking wild.
is called
on a
Let
first listen.
There Be Light. Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah.
You were absolutely right about that.
Uh-huh.
Holy shit. Like, let there be light. It's being let in. Is that
Yeah.
the light in question?
I think so. It
think I
fucking blinded me when I first heard it.
I understand. Honestly, when I was in high school, it kind of blinded me too. Like,
Yeah.
I love it though. It's so like harsh.
Mhm.
I've never like I've listened to a lot of harsh EDM in my
Yeah.
day. Like I've become more familiar with like Aphex Twin's discography.
Mhm.
I've listened to a little bit of like kind of like the more industrial shit with like Death Grips.
Yeah.
I've listened to harsh shit before. This shit though is like
Still cuts.
oh man,
Yeah.
like but I still for some reason cannot get enough of it.
Mhm.
And it just sounds like noise at one point, which is hilarious.
I feel like I never liked this track, but
can
upon
see
like my
why.
latest listen, I was like, damn, you got me. I kind of fuck with it.
It feels like I think what I like about this album in general is like it feels like you're in the darkness a little bit with this album.
Yeah.
Mostly, well, one, because you're kind of panicking, like, what the fuck are they gonna do next?
Mm-hmm.
But then also, like, I don't know, just the imagery of like the all blackness of the album cover, and then just let there be light. You you have no choice but to visualize this like impending cross, like rough outline
going towards you.
It's fucking wild. Apparently, their live shows are insane.
I can see that.
I cannot imagine like this era of Justice, like for people where like bringing earplugs to concerts wasn't really normalized. I feel like as much as it is now.
Yeah.
Like people just didn't really care about their hearing
Oof.
back then.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Imagine fucking just going to this concert with like no plugs.
Oh, that was great.
What? Oh my gosh. I think like what I like about this track, if we're talking about the actual like structure, is the way that the song like tries to incorporate all the elements like one at a time.
Yeah, it definitely builds on itself, which is very cool. And then like when the beat starts, I do really enjoy it a lot. Like the very heavy, straightforward drum beat and this really cool synth bass line. It does develop really nicely. It uses the main melody and the hook very well. I also like the kind of like little mellow breakdown that happens. I think there's like some like Mellotron sounding keys and a little 16th note hi-hat beat that's like really easy to groove to. It's a harsh opener, but I think it definitely works for like what it's going for. And I definitely enjoyed it the more I listened to it.
It has a lot of elements that like are happening throughout, which I feel like even though it's almost like Pinkerton in the sense where like you think they wouldn't really go together, but then they kind of end up doing it. That initial synth is harsh.
I know, dude.
I remember even when like I love this album, but when I was in high school, I was like, oh, whoa,
What is this?
we're turning that down. Holy shit. This song is the album cover for me, like I mentioned before.
Yeah.
And I believe the mellow part you're talking about is like the ending of the song, which is like foreshadowing.
Exactly.
Which I do enjoy the fact that they do on this album. They foreshadow a lot of like this one track a lot, which is fun. having like a pleasant outro is like really neat, especially after you heard like the harshest thing you've ever heard in your life.
Exactly.
Through French house.
Very good come down that also segues into the next track very well. All the transitions on this album are very like well done.
And they're very like streamlined and direct.
Yeah.
I feel like this is another weird comparison. It almost kind of reminds me of like how back to back fucking some rap songs is.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess it's just like harsh production, but then also just like, bam,
Smooth
we're in the next
transitions.
one.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer this album more than that album. Sorry, Earl.
We know you're listening.
Next track though is Dance, D.A.N.C.E.
Yes.
Which is a tribute to Michael Jackson.
I saw that, which is, I guess, pretty cool.
It's neat.
It's neat.
This song is a classic amongst fans of the duo.
Yeah.
But it can sure be a 50-50 as to whether or not I actually want to listen to it.
Really?
I think the song is good. Like, there are definitely times where I do want to, like, I do throw it on and I do groove to it, obviously. But, like, the singers in the song kind of annoy me because, like,
they're kids.
They can, like, almost sing.
Uh-huh. USL ABC.
Catching all the lights.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can definitely tell they are kids just trying their best. Though
Yeah.
I would say this is probably my favorite song on the album.
I could see why.
Yeah.
This is, like, a critically acclaimed, like...
Yeah, this is, I think, their most well-known song they've released. Logic did a version of this song.
And it's not bad.
Yeah.
His version is not bad, I will say. I definitely prefer this over his version, but,
Yeah.
like... The instrumental is fun.
It's excellent. The sample is so good. I love the strings, the use of that. I like all the references to Michael Jackson throughout. It's just very clever. It's just a great hook as well, and a really great example of like disco influence combined with the more harsher electronic sound. And the kids' chorus is pretty iconic. It's also a very nice subversion of expectations from the previous two tracks as well. It's like this was not the turn you expected to take,
especially since it like hard phases with the electrostatic,
and then you just hear it in the background, and you're like, "What the fuck is happening?
There are children here. Get them out of here, man!"
Such a PYT. Boom, boom, boom.
That shit is great. Yeah, the juxtaposition, like not even the juxtaposition, the fucking jump between tracks is a little insane. But I definitely see why people like this track because it does go really hard.
It grooves. I love it so much.
The fucking bass line, like that shit is so good. I think they had the same kid singers on like a later song they did off of Woman.
That's cool.
Because it feels like they like to do that shit.
Yeah.
I think Safe and Sound is their other.
Oh, shit.
I think like they do like a similar. I don't know if it's the same singers per se.
But like a same style. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I love that song.
That'd be cool if it was the same kids that are all like grown up and like teenagers. Hold up.
We're back. They talk the same.
Yeah. They're castratos, actually.
I was trying to think of the term, but I couldn't. Oh, man. Honestly, like this is definitely one of like if you're trying to look for like the disco aspect of the band before Woman or like the whatever the one before or in between is, this one is like the disco track,
100%.
Because like who else? What else are you gonna sing about besides like Michael Jackson? You know what I mean? He was like the king of disco, pretty much. I also like the fucking like the bridge where they sing like that one part.
I know the cadence of how they speak it. They reference Black or White, which is very cool, and it's almost like a chant, which is very neat.
And although this song is really happy, there is like a darkness to this album that's like really interesting. And so this song almost feels like sickly sweet to me, but like in a good way. I think it's like cool the way it like
progresses
and presents itself.
Yeah.
God, that bass line. I wrote it 3 times in my notes. Just like I was like, God, this fucking
it's
bass.
fucking wicked. I love it. Just how it just rides the groove with like little licks to get into each passage. It's very cool.
And yet again, it references the vibe of track 7, which is so neat at the very end.
I see.
With like I'm not gonna try to mouth it out, but yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about.
You know the one. You just heads out there.
At the end of D.A.N.C.E. You fucking know what I'm talking about.
All you just heads out there.
As canonical, all you crossers, crossing guards. But yeah, it's a great song. Sometimes I just don't want to hear it. Will I ever skip it? Absolutely not. That's sacrilege.
Well, you'll never seek it out.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. It really is a 50-50.
It's just overplayed?
Yeah.
I see.
I by me. Like, you know what I mean?
Like,
I definitely, there was a period of time where I was listening to this like all of the time.
Yeah.
But like I just kind of burnt myself out on it.
That's valid.
But it is a great song. I do love this song.
Speaking of great songs, shall we move on to this next track?
Oh, I was hoping you would like this one.
Yeah, New Jack Fox. I love this one.
This one I used to think was kind of boring, but it like recently grew on me because like, oh my god, the fucking sample
Dude.
of "You Make Me Want to Wiggle" by the Brothers Johnson.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting how they utilize the different micro sampling of vocals because on here you kind of get the more like sweet vocals that are like being held out that they chip all over the track.
It's like
and,
very
cut up.
glitchy, but it's still smooth, which is very cool.
It's so cool. That shit is so awesome. I feel like this is just like, although like D.A.N.C.E is like, that is like the Justice song.
Yeah.
This is just like such a textbook like track that shows off the duo style, which I am in love with. And the B section of this track is fucking amazing.
Yeah, for real.
When it starts to get like overly triumphant out of nowhere. And like you wouldn't expect like harmony wise for like the melody to match up with like all that like really orchestral synthy strings, but like once they're both on top of one another,
it melds very well.
It works so well. Adds a nice flavor, I feel like, to the song.
Yeah, man. I do really love the sample a lot. I just love how like groovy and funky it is. And like you said, this very much like shows like just how like the anatomy of like the way the Justice samples. It's still super dancey with everything like being like accented, even though it's like kind of disjointed in the way that it's like produced. You can still like groove to it, which is very impressive. I love like how retro the keys sound during the first half, and then you have this like super spacey futuristic breakdown like halfway through that eventually adds elements of the original sample, just like combines in like this really cool moment, like you said. Like this, I could honestly see this track being like a big influence on future funk, like the genre.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They are definitely like the forefathers of that.
Just like that, a lot of like the artists on the internet probably took inspiration from that in terms of just like making this whole offshoot of vaporwave.
I feel like I wrote that somewhere in my notes, like for a later track.
Gotcha.
It's like I'm just mentioning about how this is like proto future funk. But if I do, I'll just let you take the credit for that because
thanks, man.
You said it first.
And that's how it works.
That's true. That's true. We're contractually bound to let each other have good ideas.
That's a good point. Executive said he'll take us out back and end things if we didn't.
Or he'll just lock us away for a whole summer like he did this time around.
That's true. That's why there were no family vacations. That's the only reason there were no family vacations.
Yeah, we definitely just didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, we love
That'd
family
be
vacations.
Crazy.
Why would you even suggest that, audience?
Ew, gross. Give yourselves a boo for that one.
But anywho, shall we continue to... I'm going to lump this together for me, tracks 5 and 6.
Yeah, that works for me.
Because they are very much interconnected.
Yeah.
I kind of have a theory as to why that is.
Okay.
But tracks 5 and 6 are Phantom Part 1 and Part 2. And I started off not liking these tracks like at all when I was in high school.
Yeah.
But they really grew on me. I feel like, though, they could have accomplished this in either a very abridged fashion or just one long song.
I would agree with that.
Like,
yeah, this is like a kind of a slog to get through, especially with what comes after. Like,
Yeah.
I like the overall like main melody and like what the
Yes.
whole vibe is going for, but I just kind of tune out at some point.
I can definitely understand that. That was like very much how I felt initially when I first like ever listened to this album.
Yeah.
I like the eeriness of like the theme for this song. It's like enough for me to enjoy, I feel like. But I also just like love the weird directions it takes, especially like if we're talking about Part 1 in particular, the fucking like deep fried bridge.
I know.
This shit is so weird. It's like, yeah, can we just like put a bunch of gain on like a fucking fax machine dial up?
Do that again.
Monsieur, do that again.
Monsieur, do that again.
Hasta luego, monsieur. Equator.
The equator.
That'd be crazy if Sparks turned out to be the duo for...
That'd be insane.
They were posing as as a French band.
They put on masks when they do like interviews and appearances.
Oh, man.
I could buy it. That's just because I like Sparks.
I re-listened to Come On to My House.
Thoughts? Still the same?
It's definitely... it's in better regard with me.
That's good.
Probably still the same as my ranking if you want to hear that.
Check out our Season 3 ranking, the episode canonically before this one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, was it the Season 3 ranking?
Yeah, that was our finale for Season 3.
Oh, yeah.
And this is our premiere for Season 4.
Exactly. 60th episode. Boom! Let's go. I think I like Part 2 a little more than Part 1.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like when it becomes more involved with the orchestral hits and shit,
Yeah.
It complements the melody more.
Hmm.
I don't like the way it starts off though. Just it's like, okay, man.
Yeah, I think like overall, I think I like part one more, but that's just because like part two, I can never remember how it sounds like.
That's fair.
Like I do like these two tracks almost gonna be kind of like ironically fan with the opera vibes, just like in terms of like how they sound.
Yeah.
Specifically like the sample that they use from Echoes in like that soundtrack. But this one is very scratchy and vibey. I like how like you're trying to like make out the words while the beat is just like keeping things moving. And then all the different textures of keys, like they work together pretty well to accentuate the main melody. But I do think the strings add quite a lot to this track to make it a
Yes.
little more palatable.
Definitely.
The bass breakdown early on is pretty cool though, and I like how it becomes like the main focus for a while, while like the main melody kind of like dances around it. And there's an interesting section switch up when like everything just kind of drops out besides the synth, and it like sounds like they're kind of like talking to each other.
It does,
which is really cool.
There's a weird like communicative aspect to it.
Yeah.
I feel like the reason why there's a part one and part two is because like I'm just speculating. I feel like they both like had an idea for how they wanted the melody to be.
I see.
And then they were just like, well, why don't we just include both?
We will do part one and part two.
This is canonically how they sound.
That's true. That's Justice 1 and Justice 2.
Wow, why don't we include both?
It's Wario and Daisy.
Oh my goodness. I do like the way that like part one fades into part two, kind of, with just the repeating thing. And yeah, the bass shit that happens. There's another moment on this album where like the bass is just like insane.
You're just going fucking crazy.
The orchestral hits definitely add it for me.
Yeah.
And I think I wrote the UTI, which I don't think I had when I listened to this.
That was just on the brain.
I don't think I had, like, I definitely, it was the start to a sentence.
I see. We should follow up with that just to be sure.
I might, yeah, I need a referral to listen to this album again.
This album gave me a UTI.
Still going to be a 10 out of 10, which is odd, but
That's what the U, the T, and the I in justice stand for.
you can't spell justice without UTI, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. Samples is Samples Dance Reaction by Metro Area.
Okay.
Which is interesting because that's another like EDM artist that like I've heard before. And then Tenebrae by Claudio Simonetti.
Oh, obviously. Now I see it.
Claudio Simonetti,
Yeah.
Massimo Morante, and Fabio Pignatelli.
Big Natelli.
Wow.
Wow, a lot of Italians on here.
Yeah, I know. I thought these guys were French. I want my money back.
Hey, I'm always down for a little more Italiano representation.
This is going to drop a whole letter. I think that's all I have to say about 5 and 6, though. Shall we move on to probably the most interesting track on here?
Yeah, this one's neat. I quite like Valentine.
I feel like Valentine, like, definitely not in terms of tone, but like in terms of its pacing and like overall like placement of the album.
Yeah.
It's like the make love of fucking
Human After All?
Human After All.
Yeah.
I think I called Human After All Random Access Memories by accident earlier. So
Switch those.
apologies, guys. But this one feels like Make Love, like the same energy as like Make Love off of Human After All.
Yeah.
In terms of like, it's such a switch off from what
We've been hearing. Yeah. It's a lot more like laid back, which is so refreshing for at this point in the album.
I could definitely see why.
I really like the piano font they chose for this track as well. It gave me kind of Wolfpack vibes, which I dug. Like earlier Wolfpack. And I like how like at some point like the music sounds like more like distant and muffled, and like the mellotrons kind of come back.
Yeah.
I also love how they split the chime synths and the mellotron on like the left and the right channel. I think that's really cool as well. And then it gets like super like spooky sounding towards the end with like this like heartbeat and heavy breathing that transitions into the next track, which is such a switch up too.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
This track is like, it always hit me in like the weirdest way, I feel like, when I listen to it. Like, I remember I was just like, yeah, we're raving. I'm like, oh, okay.
All right, now we're chilling in the bathroom. Taking
Yeah.
a little break.
It's like really echoey in here.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird fucking song, but I do like the way, like you said, the E piano is utilized. It's almost like it starts off as like the main focus, but then once like that really high synth comes in, this is another example of, I feel like the track sounding sort of like sugary sweet in a way.
Okay.
But like in like a creepy way. This one's more creepy, I feel like.
Gotcha.
But it's kind of fun. The song just vibe wise reminds me of like Panther from fucking
Persona 5.
A little bit.
Okay.
Just the vibe of her actual persona.
Gotcha. Oh, of Carmen.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
I feel like when I look at them, this is what I picture.
That's pretty neat. A lot of Persona talk, which I don't mind because I fucking love those games.
That's true. That's true. I do enjoy Persona as well. This samples Me Against the Music by Britney Spears, featuring Madonna,
Interesting.
and Fairlight by Jean-Philippe Raquel.
Gotta say with the accent to make it like hit hard that they're French.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, who was gonna know?
Classic Jean-Philippe Raquel.
Exactly.
I do think it's kind of cool how like a lot of the tracks were like kind of referencing the vibe of this overall track and like how it sounds in a way. Because like a few of the tracks would end in like this sort of like echoey, like sort of chimey,
Like a little more low key aspect. So it's cool. It's kind of like foreshadowing the calm down before like we get to like the back half of the album.
Yeah, which is a very interesting
Yes,
back
it is.
half.
That it is.
I cannot wait to hear your thoughts about it.
This next track specifically.
Yes. We definitely can talk about the next track, but Valentine is special, without a doubt.
That it is.
This
And I
next
like
track is also pretty special.
That it is, and I don't really like it.
It's called The Party. Like that's what it's called, but
Yeah.
the actual track is more like the party. There's a lot of letters happening, a lot of repeats of letters.
There is.
Featuring Uffie on vocals.
I see.
Uffie. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but Uffie.
But she's here.
She is here.
Yeah, this one is, I'd say, my least favorite track on the album.
I get it. Honestly.
Aside from just like the Kesha-esque nature of like the lyrics, it's just like kind of boring and it goes on forever.
I gotcha.
Also, apparently Kesha is directly inspired by this song,
I totally believe that.
which makes sense just given the vocal stylings and delivery.
It's such like a nice, I think it's a very fun, almost like parody of the party music of the like late 2000s.
I guess if that's what they're going for, it's cool. I just don't like listening to it.
That makes a lot of sense. I personally love it though. It's some of the dumbest lyrics I've ever heard in my life.
Let's get this party started,
Right. Let's get drunk and freaky. Fried. Oh. Oh my god.
Yeah, we at the club and they let us in.
Better wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
We are dancing on tables. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so fucking bad. But for some reason, like, I can never get enough when this song is playing.
Yeah.
I like it. Genuinely, like
when it picks up, it definitely gets better. I think like just like how long it takes to build up to that, I don't really care for.
I could definitely see why.
Very bare bone instrumentally, just having like the hi-hat on like 2 and 4 with a little bit of like held keys like sprinkled throughout, and then the vocals being the main focus.
It's fucking skeletal.
Yeah.
Like, for a long time. Even when like it actually picks up, because all you really get is just boom, 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 like that's literally it. Like it doesn't fill a lot of space.
No.
Besides the bad lyrics that I for some reason always love hearing.
There's definitely a charm to them. I just think they're silly.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool that they were just like, yeah, let's dedicate like to the where pop is right now.
Yeah, and it's interesting like these tracks, this one and the next one are both kind of like critiques of like the club scene in general, which is neat.
It is neat. It's also like this album has like a really weird theme of like vocalists taking over that can like almost sing,
but never not quite.
Not like enough, you know what I mean?
Oh shit, Trey Davies.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. And stay out.
God, we're sorry about that.
You rat bastard.
Yeah, he's fucking horrible.
I can't believe you said that to me.
I know. Matt, are you okay?
No, honestly, I'm not. He better wake the fuck up.
He better kick his nuts into high gear.
I like the phrase, like a good old kick in the pants. Like, I need a good old kick in the nuts. What talentless hacks they are. I
fuck
can't
those
believe
guys.
I can't believe they would ever make us a fucking show called Kick Nuts.
I know, that's disgraceful, and we don't associate with them anymore.
Thank God we have nothing to do with them.
And never have and never will.
I'll never invite them on for totally more than just one episode.
No, never.
Ever again.
And get that out of your heads. Out of your minds, family heads.
A couple of things I want to say about this track before we go to the next one. I think this is interesting how it's supposed to be like a parody party anthem, but it's like it's also eerie in a weird way. I feel like for me,
Yeah, with how bare bones it is, for real.
it's like overimposing with like the piano looming over you in the beginning with
Yeah.
that like it's like really harsh and close,
Mhm.
but like loud, which is wild. It almost makes you feel like uneasy as the song's telling you to let loose, which is
Yeah.
kind of fun, like juxtaposition. When the bass and the beats kick in, I genuinely like it makes the experience for me.
Mhm.
Everything in this song has like the hardest cutoffs of like any
Yep.
EDM track I've ever listened to, and I think it's like really fun. I love when they dampen the drums at the end of the second verse,
Mhm.
as if they needed a build up for this party anthem that we're so invested in.
Exactly.
The auto-tune robotic voices in the chorus are like really dumb, but
Dude, having like the as like the hook is that drove me nuts, but it's funny.
I understand why.
Yeah.
It makes sense that Zed was just like, I gotta do this.
Wait, I have an idea.
Sacre bleu.
Put me in suppose.
I don't think he's French. He is European, I think, but I don't think he's French. I think having like the overly cheesy pop song parody makes this album's pacing and like variety kind of shine.
Yeah,
in a way.
It's definitely like a nice change of pace from just like from Genesis to like Phantom 2.
Just
It's
Let
just
There Be
different.
Light.
Yeah, exactly.
It is kind of like if Let There Be Light was like a pop song in a
Yeah.
weird way, with just like the really harsh like instrumentals.
The most
around
jarring
you.
things are the vocals, though.
That's very and the lyrics.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, no, it's a very interesting track. I totally understand why you wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
But it is unfortunately one of my favorites, if I'm being honest. Number 9,
Yes.
DVNO is also one of my favorites.
I like this one a lot more than The Party.
I understand why.
Yeah.
I this is another one kind of like New Jack where I would listen and be like, this is fucking awful. Why am I listening
Yeah.
to this? But then like I listened to it and I was like, wait, hold on a second.
This kind of
here.
goes hard.
DVNO, 4 capital letters, didn't go. Like it's,
They make the girl sweat even more.
he can like almost sing.
Dude, there's like a section where like almost all of the instrumentals drop out and it's just the vocal.
It's hard to find. And I'm like, oh God.
Tell me that who I am.
He like can almost sing.
Oh.
It's so bad. But like I love it for some reason.
It does kind of lean into the concept where it's about this like dude who's like thinks he's hot shit, but he can't get into a club.
Mehdi Pinson.
Mehdi Pinson.
Mehdi Pinson.
I see. So he's like the guest vocalist.
He is. He
Gotcha.
is the feature.
Well, he does a great job in terms of performance and entertainment for me.
This song does fucking bang.
Yeah.
The chorus is good. Like it's a
Oh
good
my God,
written
yeah.
chorus. I feel like
it's a great hook.
the way the strings are like so. I know like the strings like would cut in and out with a lot of the songs.
Yeah.
This one they're like so prominent. I feel like throughout the whole song, and I feel like that's what makes it for me.
Yeah, man.
It really just feels like a club classic. Honestly, not to quote Brat yet again, but like I wonder if Charlie XCX is aware of Justice.
Oh,
She's,
100%.
she's European.
And they're pretty like influential, I would say.
That's true.
Especially like 2000s onward.
Definitely. I could see this getting kind of lost in the mix of the album because it does sound very samey in terms of like the instrumental,
Yeah.
but I still think it has elements that just set it apart for
Oh my
me
God.
personally.
Yeah, those vocals just really stick with you because it's they're funny. I
They
love
are
them.
funny. Like,
Yeah.
that is part of the reason why I do like it because like they just have this knack for like getting vocalists that like can almost
Yeah.
sing. And they do that with like later albums too.
I see.
Can French people just not sing?
I guess not.
Can we name one French person that can sing?
Shit.
Well, Thomas Bangalter could kind of sing,
Okay.
but I feel like
That's cheating.
that's cheating.
What about the gray mouse from Tom and Jerry? Could he sing?
Yeah, but I think that was two different voice actors.
I see.
Like there was
Wait, he's not real?
Oh, I don't know how to tell you this, but Tom and Jerry were never real. Cats can't really scream like that. Oh man, it looks like
I'm sorry about that.
it looks like you're under a lot of stress.
Oh shit. That was good, Matt.
I appreciate it. This track, I'm gonna. I want to guess a
Yeah.
little bit. I'm gonna guess that you don't like this track.
Be surprised actually. I enjoyed this one.
Oh, that does my heart well.
Yeah.
Genuinely, because I love this track a lot.
For what it's trying to accomplish, it does that in spades. So I admire for that.
I remember one time during a music theory class when I was in high school, my teacher would be like, all right, at the end of the lesson, we can listen to some of the music that y'all are into. And I was like, oh, put on Stress by Justice. Special guest of the podcast, Emma, was there.
I see.
Can also probably confirm that once they put it on, everybody in the class legit went, oh, what the fuck is this?
Of course.
Because upon hearing it, because I think like hearing the rest of the album helps with this.
Oh, yeah.
So like hearing it cold turkey is
what?
like,
It's like,
dude,
whoa.
Matt, you suck. Like,
And then they all threw tomatoes at you and said,
boo, boo him, boo Matt. Yeah, high school was rough, guys. I'm not gonna lie. This is like one of the first Justice songs I'd ever heard.
gotcha.
I want to say like for some reason with this track in particular, I listened to it before the album.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's true though, but I remember like hearing this and just it felt like this was one of the most memorable parts of the album.
Oh, for real.
Because
Like,
it is,
yeah.
without a doubt. But like,
Definitely sticks with you after hearing it.
oh, hands down. So does the music video, which I don't know if
There's
you
a
know.
music video?
Oh boy, I think after we record, I'm gonna have to show it to you.
All right.
It actually, I think, like the French government tried to take it down
Interesting.
because it's
Ooh.
crazy.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
It's crazy, like because it's like not scripted.
Yeah.
At least not fully scripted.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's kind of wild. It's okay. Maybe it's not like as bad as you think, but it's
Yeah.
definitely kind of like, wow, they got away with this.
On a scale of Rockwell to MGMT, how disturbing is it?
It's disturbing in the fact that it doesn't lend itself to being fictitious whatsoever.
Gotcha. Okay.
I would say that
I see.
I could definitely maybe see parts of it that are, but like you definitely look at it and you're like, how the fuck did this? How?
Yeah, did this happen?
But we will get to that later. Also, I'm not going to say anything about it because audience, you should watch it too. It impacted 14-year-old Matt in quite an interesting way.
I see. Maybe it'll impact you, dear listener.
Question of the week: what was your reaction to watching the music video?
Exactly. Do you hate our podcast now?
They never listen again. Anyway, about the actual track, I love how absolutely uneasy this track just
Oh, yeah,
immediately
dude.
makes you feel.
Just like that, those tense like strings that just constantly like warble through the channels. It almost sounds like Alfred Hitchcock tension.
Yes, I
Yeah.
could definitely see that.
It is very clever. It definitely is not being subtle at all, like what this track is trying to embody, and like the music
no.
definitely embodies that perfectly. There's like such like an anxious, like tense feeling that persists like throughout the melody, constantly like looping parts of the sample throughout. So these like oscillating jets that sound like straws go back and forth.
Yeah, it sticks with you.
It really does. And also I think like the reason why I like this was because I didn't first hear it at work, but like when I was listening to it for the podcast, I was at work and like I was pissed off doing a project, so like listening to this like kind of like fueled me a little bit. I was like, you know what, I need this right now.
It is if you're trying to like almost like if you want to be angry, this is a great track for that.
Oh yeah, it'll set you off.
Without a doubt. I feel like they really understood how to add tension and just like a beautiful jagged album already.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they had this added in here where they're like,
Yeah.
let's like create just the embodiment of discomfort
Yeah, through music.
ever. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What was it? You listen and you immediately feel like something is wrong with either you or them.
Exactly.
Yeah, my class sure did at the time.
They were not too kind.
I love like the music break where it sounds like machine whirring in between like the two buildups.
Yeah.
The string samples that are used are like they're like scary.
Doo-da-da-da, 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 doo-da-da-da.
That shit's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music video definitely matches what you're hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Just need to emphasize that again. I love the really loud snare hit at the end of each chorus.
Yeah.
That shit scared me the first time I heard it.
Yeah.
I love the way that like the chorus has like those syncopated string hits.
Mhm.
It's like really fun.
Dun, 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 dun.
I can't tell if this is like fact or if it's just my brain playing with me with like the overall flow and like concept of the album. It does sound like there are moments in the vocal samples where they're saying dance,
Gotcha.
which is kind of terrifying to me.
Yeah.
Because it's just like this.
Demanding.
It's because I feel like if you, upon these last few re-listens, I kind of am just like, the album cover is so like, there's like a weird like tension you get just by looking at it.
Yeah, it's ominous.
And like, I feel like throughout they kind of lace this sense of unease throughout it,
Yeah, for real.
which is kind of cool when you think about the fact that they were trying to make like a disco opera.
Mm-hmm.
So if there is sort of like this weird like nuanced tension throughout each track, it's kind of cool to imagine that like they were like, oh, this is the dark
Yeah.
disco. Like,
We're evil disco. You can dance, but you're gonna hate it.
Dance macabre. This actually does sample something. It samples "Night on Disco Mountain" by David Shire,
Oh, interesting.
which I'm guessing is like maybe a play on like "Night on Bald Mountain."
I would guess.
I kind of want to listen to the original, see if I could like spot how sampled it is.
Yeah.
I feel like they unraveled trying to get to like make the club classics, and that's what this song feels like.
Yeah.
The fucking like harpsichord at the very end of the song.
I like that too. That's a very nice addition.
It adds this like creepiness factor.
Mm-hmm.
And I also just love how the song just like abruptly ends too.
Of course, yeah.
Because like obviously at this point in the album too, since we're like toward the end, you're like, where's it gonna go next? Oh, it's over.
Oh, well, now I'm stressed.
Kind of a precursor. I have a lot to say about these last two tracks.
Yeah.
They are two of my least favorite tracks of the album.
I would agree.
Because I think I feel like one or the other could have been the end of the album.
Yeah, like both of these, I cannot tell you what they sound like off the top of my head.
And that is, I feel like, probably the average listening experience.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're like, really, in my opinion, the only two misses, but just the fact that they're both on top of each other and together.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So I guess with that, track 11, Waters of Nazareth.
More Bible.
It's definitely one of, if not my least favorite track. I don't know if this is like just one track too many, but I literally forget about this track like almost every single time I listen to this album.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking like exasperated sigh sample in the middle of the melody annoys me.
I know, man. Ugh.
That's the sound I make when I'm like, oh, we still have two more of this shit.
Ugh.
It sounds like I had like an old Casio keyboard when I was a child,
Mm-hmm.
and it sounds like one of the like the vocal sound effects.
Yeah.
If you hit like the DJ setting,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I remember that. The rippy synth would not be that painstaking to me if it like added more to the overall album, but because this track and the next track are like, one, what we've heard so much
Exactly.
of, and two, just like, you know, just more of that, I'm like, it feels like a filler track almost.
Like at this point, like with both of these tracks, like I've kind of had my fill. Like I get it, and like I just kind of want to be done. Like, I mean, there's cool moments. I like the timpani inclusion on this track. I think that's very neat.
Definitely.
I think it's very impressive just like how much layering is done without the mix becoming like super overbearing. It's like just overbearing enough with what they're going for. I also dig like when the more melodic keys kind of come in with like these held chords over the groovy beat that goes in the left and the right channels. And then like the almost like orchestral section towards the end, it sounds very like cinematic with this very lovely key riff before hopping back into the main melody. There's good moments on this track, but
Definitely.
like as like an overall like piece, I just don't care for it.
It's both forgettable and also it can be a little overstimulating, I could say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. I feel like like the overstimulation is just not like worth. It doesn't have a payoff that's worth it.
I don't also think it's trying to be in comparison to other tracks, or
maybe
it is.
After the last track,
Yeah.
I feel like it's like, can any track match the overstimulating nature? Besides Let There Be Light.
Exactly.
I think it's cool because I noticed with this track in particular, it starts to reincorporate other elements from other tracks that we had heard prior, like the hi-hats from track 2 and like that was really the only one I written down, but like,
but there are others.
Trust me, there are
the
other
Logic
ones.
feature from D.A.N.C.E.
In 2008.
Yeah.
The song just also has no business being so fucking long.
Yeah.
Why is it this long? Like what the actual fuck?
Is this the longest one on the album?
I think it might be.
Okay.
It feels like it.
Yeah, it definitely does at this point.
I don't remember how long Phantom Part 2 is, because that one's also pretty long.
That's a good point.
It's
regardless one of the longer tracks on the album.
Definitely. I like the imperfections you can kind of hear in the mix, like with whatever like synth organ they were using. They looped that like this one riff, and you could hear the clicking of like the start and the end of it.
Okay,
which is kind of cool because like I like that shit, especially with something that uses this many micro samples. I'm like, what went into this? But at this point in the album, it's just not my cup of tea, and it's too buzzy. Like this one is just too buzzy for me, and I love
damn
grunge.
buzzy.
Too damn buzzy. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. It's too damn buzzy. Keep listening. That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
your granddad,
that's what it's all about.
Your granddad is making you listen to Justice by Cross or Cross by Justice. I mean, it's interchangeable, quite
that's
literally.
a good point.
is the self-titled album. That outro noise was also evil.
Yeah, it's quite a transition into the last track.
That shit sucked. And you know what's so funny to me? If you want to just move right into track 12,
Yeah, that's cool with me.
I feel like it's so wild that like it gets that crazy. All to just boom.
Yeah. Super low keys. Like I have like no notes on the song. Just like the transition was crazy.
Yeah.
The keys are playing very low, and then I'm over it.
I can talk about how much I hate it.
Go
if you
off.
Want. This is also a track I don't ever seek out. Literally, I never seek it out. It's a neat closer. I guess if you're like an album purist for this album, it's neat, but like I really don't think it's anything to write home about, if I'm being honest. The synth I find kind of grating, just doesn't really cut it for me like the other tracks. Like I feel like even with take like Let There Be Light, for example.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a point in it that like works and you're like, okay, I get it. With this one, I'm just like, we're at the end of the album. You're just spitting out more shit that like you gave me prior. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like I'm kind of in a rush to get the fuck out of here. We have 1 minute to midnight. Let's go.
Exactly. For a song called 1 minute to midnight, it's not 1 minute.
And it's also like the title has a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
But the song to me.
Oh, it meanders. It lollygags even.
It really does, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
The percussive like clicking is like a cool noise that they utilize, whatever sample they got that from. But I don't really think it makes the song like more likable for me than it can really. It's cool how they incorporate like the synths from Valentine again in like a more aggressive manner. Like they directly sample like literally just that track. It does a good job being self-referential and self-contained. It just sucks that like the song itself isn't really that good.
Yeah. Do you have a preference over like what you think should have closed the album, or if they combine them or something?
I mean, if they combine them, kind of like similar to Phantom 1 and 2, I feel like we all would have been a lot happier. I mean, honestly, I feel like Waters of Nazareth honestly could have been a much better closer, because like at least with that outro, that noise
that's
just
true.
been the end of the album.
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably stylistically would have liked that more.
And it kind of works piggybacking off of Stress too.
I feel like they just wanted to make it like an even number of tracks.
Yeah.
Like there's a part of me that feels like they were so like meticulous about it. They were like, I believe we should make an even number of tracks.
It'll be this long with this many.
Gaspard, how could you say that? As much as I love this album, and you'll see it in my ranking, it is like the lamest ending to an album I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Especially because it just cuts off.
Exactly.
And that's the end of the album. And I was just like, oh, well, maybe like it cuts off in a way where it loops back to the beginning.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
No.
I tried.
Believe me.
Everybody. You loop the song and it's just
yeah.
But there's too much of a pause to make it like give me the illusion that it would do that.
Yeah.
It just there's nothing. They were like 1 minute to midnight. We got the fuck out of here.
Justice, give us nothing.
Yeah, no, honestly, like I don't really like this track, and I think Waters of Nazareth and 1 minute to midnight combined specifically are the biggest misses of this album.
I see. I think that's pretty valid.
I think because I gave you the album.
I'll say my final thoughts first.
Yes.
All right. So, definitely enjoyed it more this time around than when I first listened to it. And I think it's solid, but ultimately it's not my preferred style of electronic music, and there's still pieces of it that I don't enjoy on any re-listen. It's a very groovy album that I can vibe to decently well, but as an active listen, I get fatigued pretty quickly. The musicianship and production is very impressive. Like, the duo showed their proficiency in the studio super early in their career, as they perfectly place all the different pieces of the track, making full use of the range of speakers. And the way they can also personify the music is really commendable.
Yeah.
And it makes the project very engaging. Instrumentally, there are things I like and dislike, and they mostly come down to taste. I think every bass line in this album is fire, very groovy, always holds the track down while showing off with little licks whenever given the opportunity. The drums are pretty standard for this type of music, and they get the job done, keeping things moving with straight-ahead beats that occasionally get a little funkier with some like sporadic 16th notes. And then the keys are definitely like the most involved, with a wide variety of sound fonts, ranging from ethereal and cinematic on Waters of Nazareth and Valentine, to classic cheesy and retro on Dance and DVNO, to very crunchy and scratchy pretty much everywhere else. This is definitely not my preferred sound when listening to electronic, so having that be the main focus on the melodies during my listen was not the most pleasant, But I can't deny just like how well executed the arrangements were. Like these pieces develop very naturally while also never sounding too dissonant. There's always like something to kind of reel it in. And doing that with mostly digital instrumentals is very impressive. I like the inclusion of lyrics when they appeared, except for the party. They were always a refreshing surprise for the pacing of the album, as were the strings, which were always executed flawlessly and tied back to the disco influence that this album likes to call back to quite a lot. All in all, my appreciation for this album definitely grew, and I can see why a lot of people love it, but it's just not my thing, and I prefer pretty much all their other albums that I listened to by the band over this one. So I'm going to give this a solid B tier, maybe a B minus.
Honestly, higher than I expected.
Yeah.
I was expecting like C at the highest, like going into this recording.
I feel like there's too much good to like not be a C tier, but we'll see. In the season 4 ranking.
That's true. As we established with last season, anything can happen.
That's a great point. Yeah.
We also have a very neat lineup of guests, I feel like, on the horizon.
That would do.
So it could really go anywhere from here.
Yeah, wide range of themes and albums and artists. Oh my.
Oh my. I guess with my thoughts, I'm not going to lie to you, kind of in a similar, I wanted to say like in a similar vein of like Dopamine by Borns.
Yeah.
I have a lot of love for the nostalgia I have for this album.
Mm-hmm.
And I was expecting kind of like to have an opposite effect where like, oh, like I was so fond of it like all this time ago.
Yeah.
And I listened to it, I'm like, oh, it's probably not going to hold up as much. But I think as I become more like solidified in my music taste and like loving crunchier things and just I don't know, like sometimes just like the raw power of instrumentals, even if it's not like polished.
Yeah.
That shit like hit so hard for me this time around. Especially now that like I've listened to so much like Death Grips and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't want to say like there's like this album in Death Grips, but like there's like the same like rush of adrenaline in like a way that I get when I listen to like The Money Store.
I think that's fair. In terms of like energy. Yeah.
And it's cool to have a more like melodic nature to this album.
Yeah.
As opposed to The Money Store. So I feel like for me, it was almost like the best of both worlds, which was kind of fun. I think another reason why this album for me specifically, and like just this band specifically, like grew on me in the last month or so upon these like listening sessions, I think when you remove Daft Punk from the equation of like all of their discography,
Yeah.
it's a much better listening experience.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Because I personally believe, made such an effort to try and like distance themselves from like the similarities between them and their predecessors. Because like Discovery was 7 years before this album, I believe.
2001?
I believe it was 2001.
Yeah.
And this came out in 2008, which...
Where's the 7?
It is 2007.
Okay.
You are correct.
Hooray.
6, so even less time.
Yeah.
Which obviously, like, Daft Punk was like probably... They were already like a household name.
Yeah.
But I feel like this band... Or I feel like at that point, like, Daft Punk definitely, with Discovery... Everybody fucking knew One More Time. One More Time was everywhere.
Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. Yeah. All the hits from that album.
And I feel like with this album, they were trying really hard to just veer away from like anything
that could compare.
Because a lot of artists at the time, once that album came out, especially in Europe, were like really trying to emulate that. You can kind of see that with like Mojo. You can kind of see that with like a couple other French house artists too.
Yeah.
Like they were influential. And I think you could see that a little bit in this album. But the fact that they have such like a distinct like signature sound.
Yeah, they definitely take that and twist it into like their own.
For this time is kind of impressive. Because like you said, you can kind of hear future funk and like how this album will like inspire artists to kind of like veer into future funk later down the line.
More harsher sounds and like was popularized at the time.
And I think that's really cool because I don't really know how much microsampling was happening at this time either.
Yeah.
Like Daft Punk was pretty like the samples for the most part, they weren't like as intricate, I think, as this. Their like song craftsmanship definitely was. Yeah. But like, and their recording process, but I don't think like it was like as
like minute, like they weren't chopping up as much as Justice was,
like milliseconds of fucking like so I guess in terms of like the album's actual like elements that I enjoy, I think like most of these songs, minus the last 2 tracks, just flow so well for me. I love the back-to-back nature of them. I love the fact how like the album is ominous and it's really like dark,
Yeah.
but like you can enjoy the happy moments, but there's still like this layer of like I'm unnerved.
I'm in
a weird
danger.
way, which is cool because like for like trying to be like an opera disco kind of album, I feel
Yeah.
like it's cool that it added like a nuanced tension of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they succeeded in that right. Also, just some of the songs bang. DVNO, D.A.N.C.E.
Mm-hmm.
I love The Party. I love Stress. I love Let There Be Light.
Yeah.
I honestly love all of it.
Except for the last 2.
Except for the last 2. 2 things to make clear. Andrew is my friend just as much as he's AJ's friend.
Yep.
And I don't like the last 2.
And also, callback to season 3, Paul McCartney did not get with the meter maid.
I feel like it just goes without saying. Like,
Exactly.
Who would?
No.
Quite frankly, a meter maid? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, no. I think this album is always going to have like a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Because of the time I found it, like around the time where I was really liking Daft Punk and French House.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that I've been able to like still find such deep appreciation away from nostalgia is really special for me. So I am going to give this probably like, I think I might have to give this like a low A.
Gotcha.
Like, this is genuinely like in the last like 6 times I've listened,
Yeah.
it's been like a genuinely fun experience. With the exception of like 1 Minute to Midnight. Because Waters of Nazareth could have been the closer, and I probably would have been happier. I would have complained a lot less, I feel like. But yeah. One final note I would just like to say.
Okay.
I don't remember who the artist was. Maybe we can link it in the description. There's this one artist who covered Valentine, and it's really good.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it's like officially published anywhere besides YouTube, but it's a decent cover. So if y'all are in the market to listen to more content, check it out.
All right. Well, good to know. And hey, happy 60 episodes, Matt.
Happy 60th episode, AJ.
Fun little dynamic of albums. Some things to compare, a lot of things to
Contrast.
That's it.
Yeah, a lot of kooky characters.
Yes.
We're sorry that you had to hear that, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary pals.
Yes.
Trey Davies and Chuck Squirtlet. You are officially on the like no-fly list of the family album bunker.
No more appearances.
I know technically we're contractually bound to share the studio space, but if I ever run into you, it's on site.
Exactly. We'll keep to ourselves unless like they start shit. They will not be on this podcast, we swear.
Never again.
And once again, we'd just like to apologize for their inclusion, and hopefully that never happens again.
Yeah.
But hell of a premiere, Matt.
Hell of a premiere.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Me too. It's good to be back. We hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for waiting for our hiatus. We have a lot of fun stuff planned throughout the rest of the season. If you guys have any suggestions for albums or what we could do different to get you guys to listen a little more, please feel free to leave a comment on Spotify or YouTube or perhaps more platforms because we're going to consider expanding a little more as well.
We're trying our best.
Exactly.
It's season 4.
It's season 4. We might as well. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this week's episode of The Family Album. As always, I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
And I'm Matt Glass.
Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next week with a special guest, and we love you. And thank you for your constant love and support.
Peace.